Yo, bozos, Major League Butt Kicking is back in town. My name is Nick, and this is a special edition of The Run-In where we're going to cover all things E3. I am not joined, sadly, by my co-hosts, Sarah and Manuel, but I am joined by one of the marks of the Wrestling Roundtable. His name is Jimmy Blitz.
What is going on, everyone?
And our good buddy, Chops.
How's it going?
Chops, this is the first time I've actually met you. And you already seem like a really down-to-earth, really cool guy that
until then
that I would like to go hang out with, go party with, and possibly get drunk. And
It's still very early, Nick.
I am very modest and humble, you know.
The tides will change as this show goes on and on. But I'm very excited to be here. It's a very great week in the world of not the world of professional wrestling, the world of video gaming.
Yeah, video games. Yeah, we're into other things other than just professional wrestling and movies and blah blah blah.
Yeah, we're nerds in all sorts of aspects.
Yeah, I have been playing video games ever since like the Sega Genesis. Well, I had a regular Nintendo, but it was like the Sega Genesis that really got me into my love of video games. How long have y'all been playing?
I've been playing for ages. I remember getting the Super Nintendo for Christmas. For the first time. That came with the Super Mario World and the Mario Kart. I remember having the old school handheld games. The old school...
The Tiger games?
Yeah, the Tiger games.
Man.
The Power Ranger Tiger games and the X-Men.
It had like 3 motions. It was like up, down, or whatever, like 2 buttons and
they were just very fancy calculators.
The screen, like the background was the same background, but the only thing that changed was the 8-bit
They
little
updated
characters.
it to Tamagotchis, I think, in the future.
Yeah.
They shrunk it in. They gave it one button. And it was
I'm dating
Tamagotchi.
myself because I feel old now because I remember the first system we got was the Nintendo Entertainment System.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Remember my dad, he got off work, got off late, and ended up going to Walmart and picked it up, and all there was a Post-it note on there that said, "From Santa." Didn't even take the time to wrap it. Just
for all you young people out there who don't know, talk to your parents, and then you'll thank us later.
We had the Duck Hunt Gun Con double pack with Super Mario Brothers.
Oh, damn.
His parents loved him.
I guess so, yeah.
I never had the Duck Hunt gun.
It was freaking awesome.
I had the bootleg Duck Hunt gun. That was like the game was all built into the controller, and you just plug it with the RCAs in the back of your TV.
Wow,
the Made in China one.
Yeah.
I didn't even know that was a thing.
Had like 30 games on there. It was all shitty shooting games, one after another.
Yeah,
that's what I had for the shooting game.
It never worked. You was like shot at the target and it was never where it was at.
You shoot left, it goes right.
Game over. Buy new game.
You need expansion pack.
Exactly.
Were you one of those kids that when you got angry at the game because the gun didn't work, that you got right up to the screen and were like, "I'm fucking doing it" as you're pulling the trigger?
If you looked at one of my old tube TVs that weighed like 100 pounds, you see scratches all across.
That was a light one too.
Yeah, that was the light one. That was my 20-inch. That was my 20-inch TV.
God, isn't it amazing like how far we've come?
Yeah,
when it comes to TVs, you could kill a man with those TVs.
Yeah, seriously,
I'm pretty sure it was done.
Like, granted, if your TV, what is that? Like maybe 40 less,
give or take. Yeah,
less than 40-inch TV in here. If you had a big tube TV, you would not even bother buying it from the store, thinking about you have to drag it upstairs that you have here in the.
But people's spatial awareness, I think, has changed.
Yeah.
Nowadays, they want more space in their houses and apartments and stuff like that. Versus in the past, they had those big screen TVs that were pretty much a box. It took up like half your freaking living room, and people accommodated
your bookshelf of movies that you have behind you used to be the TV, where the TV would be.
Oh yeah, the ones that had like the elevated bottoms because that's where the speakers were.
Yeah,
and they were giant
the tubes in the bottom.
Giant ass like tubes the size of like 64-ounce cups of drinks.
Man, I remember our old big TV like that got a spider behind like the outer layer of plastic, and it was like crawling in there, and it was freaking me out because I thought he was on the outer layer.
The spiders in every movie we're watching.
And I was like, okay, we need to kill it.
There's spiders in every football game. What the fuck? Can't NFL get their shit together?
And I was like, I remember when
They're doing a promo.
I remember when I discovered that he was on the inside of the screen, and I was like, fuck, we're going to bed and this guy's in the house. Like, what are we gonna do?
The next day, he goes to the Walmart, buys like one of those big fumigators, the old ones where you have to pull the pin out and run away. He just lets loose and just like At
least it's just one spider. You don't see multiple spiders in the screen after that.
Oh my Jesus!
All you need to do is pop one of those little egg sacs that had their.
Dude, oh my God. Okay, so we obviously had one of those big old giant big screens, and I wasn't home when we got it. I don't even know where the thing came from because we lived in a trailer. Yeah. Dude, and our stairs used to be. It
was
pretty
like the
steep.
whole trailer there.
I have no idea how we got that thing
How
in
did
the
Santa
house.
come through like the little ventilation tube where the exhaust from the kitchen goes? How did it get through that?
The exit vent for the oven? For the stove?
That was my chimney back when I lived in a trailer house. You didn't have a chimney in a trailer home. You had something that looked like a chimney, but it wasn't a chimney. Just
you said the mirrors on the wall to make your room look bigger, but it was like the small mirrors.
This is it's basically the like WrestleMania weekend for video games. Everyone gets together in one central place and they show off all their
South by
shit.
Southwest for games.
Yeah, I kind of also feel like maybe it's like the Academy Awards. So you get all these trailers that get announced, all these great teasers, all these big great reveals, and then at the end of the weekend, all the news outlets will just pick their favorites and who won E3.
Yeah. And then basically half of the stuff is for next year.
Or a bunch of empty promises, too.
Or the year afterwards.
Yeah.
Hey, by the way, we're going to tell you about this game that may or may not come out in 5 years. We're also going to talk about a system that may or may not come out in yet another 5 years. But the game we talked about for 5 years ago is barely going to come out in the new system we talked about.
And now
2
for the
years
big
ago.
moment you came here for, new typography.
Pretty much.
Who do you guys think won E3? Because apparently that's a big deal.
I didn't know they were fighting against each other. It seemed like Square Enix was involved in everybody's press conferences.
Yeah.
All throughout
There was
world,
a few crossovers there. We had Division 2, Just Cause, and probably Kingdom Hearts were the top 3 games that were spread across every single conference.
Yeah.
But I think that's just a marketing point. You know, they're done. They're about to come out. Let's push them.
Yeah. It's like we finally worked out the bugs that we've been hunting for the last 8 years. Here it is for all you adults who used to play when you were kids.
After finally seeing Devolver's press conference that you showed me, it was
worth it.
He was easily the fastest, and it was the funniest.
And
it
it's
was
a smaller
the most,
studio. They're
Yeah.
dealing in indie games. They're doing more of the retro style games, and I like the fact that, to me, they were the most fun presentation that came out of conference. Instead of doing the serious business thing where they're, next year's business model, we're going to talk about our assets. No, really, they came out there. They did a cool,
We expanded to 10
classic
studios across the U.S. We're building games from all your favorite stories.
And here's a person from our other studio outside another country. Like, instead of introducing like 5 million people that have worked on one game, they just go, "Here's our games. We're a freaking game studio. Entertainment. Bam." It's basically like you said. It's like the what do you call it? The WrestleMania of gaming. They kind of treated it that way.
Yeah, they did.
As such.
Big reveal. The only thing missing was pyro.
You know what? Maybe
Next year.
next year they'll get some pyro.
It's like welcome to Microsoft's E3.
I mean,
press
the
conference.
B-roll footage of people smiling and laughing while enjoying popcorn, I think, was pretty funny there.
And the big finale where the lady got blown away by a barrage of bullets. That was, and the way she was just like
To
ragdolling.
cap it off.
The way she was getting shot off too, because it's like her.
They're really pushing their game. My friend Pablo, I think, is what it was.
Yeah. And it was very Predator when Arnold is just blowing dudes away, and RoboCop is what you had said. I believe.
Totally 80s like action, over the top, Squib Central.
So when you talk about who won the E3, it had to be Devolver as far
I think
as their
Devolver
creativity
did.
and overall presentation of their presentation.
Thing that we usually do on the run-in is we go and we watch some trailers. Well, we did not watch any movie trailers because obviously we're only talking about video games.
They're
but we
getting
did
close.
But we did watch 4 video game trailers on top of all the other trailers that we're going to talk about. During the breakdown of all the press conferences. These trailers dropped hours, if not the day of E3. And the first one I want to talk to you guys about is The Walking Dead, the final season by Telltale and Skybound. Have you guys played the other seasons of The Walking Dead?
Of course.
I remember playing episode 1 of it and was just taken away by the artistic style of it, the cell shading that I was so happy with Borderlands.
Yeah.
But I never took it up to episode 2 and next
Well, they
season.
did the
and so on
whole
and so
Back to the
forth.
Future thing way back in the day, and they remade that and made a game out of that, and that kind of took off.
Yeah.
And they started doing the other ones, of course, like they did the from Fable comic. They did the Wolf. Was it the Wolf Among Us?
The Wolf Among Us. They've
And
done
then, of
Game of
course,
Thrones.
yeah.
But this is like one of the first games that came out as a story, as an individual story.
No, that's what they all did.
seasons.
That's what the same thing was. The Telltale pushing this. They're doing a story based game.
Mm-hmm.
So instead of being like a first person shooter, they want to basically have the story, have a narrative base, and you kind of it's like the one of those books we used to read, the choose your own adventure books. I mean,
Yeah.
I literally feel like this is what this is.
Do you want to go into the dungeon?
Hey,
flip
you
to
chose
page
this.
5,
Okay, here's what happens. Oh, you died. Game over.
Go back
whoops.
to page 1 and read this chapter 1 again. God damn it!
It gives it better replay value too, though. It's entertaining, but I want to do it again.
Yeah.
Yeah, my friend Emar would play those games as like a jerk, and I tried to be like the person that wanted to save everybody.
Yeah, you
I
Mr.
wanted
Goody
to be the
Two-Shoes.
good guy.
You could be anybody you want, really. So
Yeah.
So I would totally be like Emar was.
There's
like, fucking be a
opportunities to
jerk.
like shortcut children.
Yeah.
They're like, hey, there's only this many rations of food, and you get like a thing of chips and like a half of an apple. Who do you go feed? Your partner that was just out there scavenging with you,
Right.
or the small child, of this other group of it's their kid or the little kid that you're watching over or the person who's head of security who's really hungry.
My first question is how many holes did that kid dig to clean out these dead bodies that keep piling up? Three holes? That's
Is
it?
he just like zombie fodder in the future? Like, is he going to matter? Should we feed him because the zombies are going to get to him later on?
Well, I think it's one of those moral things of like it's in our blood as an adult to protect and feed children.
I mean, I agree. Like, I'm going to be the nice guy too. In real life, I'm going to try to take care of people, but at the same time, that's a realistic perspective. Who's actually going to eat? Somebody that needs to, somebody who's been working and tired, or somebody that can hold on to more, fat, or a child that maybe can't defend for themselves later on. I mean, it's sad that you have to think that way, but I mean, you kind of have to think strategy. I mean,
it's hard times out there for the zombie apocalypse.
You're like,
do
look,
you
man,
give him at least a chip? Like, look, here, kid, here's some salt, man. So we can lick it off the Lay's.
Make it stretch. Make it stretch.
I'm going to give you out of this pack of gummy bears 5 out of the.
You can have the red ones.
And you guys being generous.
I don't like them.
That's being generous. 5 gummy bears?
Gummy bears,
You
dude.
can have all the broken chips at the bottom of the bag.
How far into the apocalypse are we in right now?
For the first season of The Walking Dead, I think it was a couple of weeks.
And then in certain tribes, it's like they start weighing the kids and seeing which one they're going to eat first. That's like a whole other. Then you have to worry about food.
Oh my God. This is actually a kick in the nuts for me to go and finish up playing The Walking Dead, The Final Frontier, or The New Frontier.
Right.
Because I think I'm like halfway through episode 2. And I think the reason is because you're in that season, you're not really focused on Clementine, who is the little girl that, you follow through all of these seasons. And when I was like, really? We're not as Clementine? Like,
or even the Michonne one kind of spins off too.
That is true. There was a Michonne mini one that only had 3 episodes. But there was that disconnect with Clementine that pushed me away because I really didn't care about these other people that she was associating with. But it looks like in this one, in the final season, it looks like you're playing as Clementine again. And they're sitting on a little bitty bridge underneath or over a water stream.
A babbling brook, I would call it.
Oh, there you go. Yeah. And she's sitting next to this little kid, and they're talking about the monsters being around and how he's lived his entire life with monsters.
For alliteration in describing the game there.
That was nice, Jimmy. What did you call it?
Huh?
A babbling
brook.
A babbling brook.
Because you hear the ripples in the water.
I have never heard it called a babbling. Oh my god. Okay, so The Walking Dead, the final season, I'm definitely going to give this a thumbs up. Pre-orders start 6/8/18, and then the game comes out like 2 months later, I think.
August 14th on my birthday. Hell yeah, that's a present to me right there.
Yeah, so
I can preload that too and be able to play it like at 12 o'clock.
You would have to, because
Hopefully.
if you want to play at 12 o'clock, you have to preload it 2 days before.
If not, especially my internet.
Especially with the great
5
internet service.
days later.
Especially here with the great internet service that you get in Alvin, Texas.
I'm in the county out there, so I mean we get like smoke signal speed.
Oh my god, that's got to be the worst.
Even his GameFly account is delayed.
No, I feel bad because you can't do anything if you can't even. Like, how long does it take you to download a picture through a text message out there?
Pictures? What are you talking about? I'm playing text games now,
Don't
bro.
you send me a GIF.
The GIF never animates. It's just the
you
first
image. You want to send me a GIF? Just send me the word GIF, okay?
I meant to send you a GIF of a bouncing cupcake. Oh, I get it now. Yeah, thanks.
Just write it out. You spell it out. What your GIF is.
I wonder how far in the future this game is going to take place, because Clementine looks every bit of 16 now?
Yeah, she's either in her teens or almost in her 20s.
She's obviously older. She's obviously wiser. I mean, she's basically passing on the same knowledge that she was taught earlier to this other younger kid who looks like
who's probably going to die in chapter 1.
Who looks like Riley from.
But the thing, if you
the
consider
Cleveland
in
show.
the zombie apocalypse, she's been a kid the whole time. It happened when she was 8.
She was about that child's age when it started.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So for her to this whole flip, now she's on that adult teaching stage, and that's all she's known.
And a good teacher too, because that kid knew exactly what's gonna happen. What you do when you see them? I'm gonna run. What are you gonna see if they come after you? I'm gonna pop.
And of course, the end of the trailer, she's like, "What do you do if I get bit?"
Yeah, it's like, okay, just suck out the poison from the wound.
Yeah, and then one of the rules is save the last bullet for yourself.
Yeah,
that's some dark shit.
That is some dark shit. The kid knows to save the last bullet. That's it. That's for him.
The kid's probably never seen one.
You'd rather shoot yourself or be attacked by a zombie as a kid. I mean, I guess that's the way to think about it.
I probably would have shit myself a little while before.
Yeah.
So the shitting's not an option.
I said shoot. I agree with you. There'd be some shitting done in the beginning, but you're probably past that point now.
During, before, and like the before.
Now you're just like,
after.
it's a zombie. All right.
It's like, well, if I'm going to go
Just
into your
shit,
mouth,
just take the shit from your underwear and just
They stop
smear it on
following
him.
if you shit your pants, so you just found out the secret there.
That's what it is. The smell of feces is a natural deterrent of zombies.
They look at you.
Like in the early episodes in the comics, they smear the dead zombie all over themselves to kind of mask. Maybe it works the same way. You shit your pants, and next thing you know, there you go.
The potent smell.
Zombie
never thought about that.
Zombie deterrent. Right
Wow. Okay, he blew my mind just because I've never thought of that. All right, cool.
Always thinking he's ready for a zombie apocalypse. Are you?
Well, the people in Days Gone probably aren't.
Yeah.
Segue of the night. I like that.
Segue. Hey,
Yes.
baby. Days Gone is another game that we watched the trailer to. Holy crap, this game looks amazing. This is the game where they're supposed to have like the absolute most amount of zombies ever on a single screen.
So it's gonna be Crackdown, and we're not gonna ever see the game.
I mean, it's coming out this year, right?
We're gonna keep on being
It-
promised.
it
We've
did
got a
have
game
a-
with the most zombies coming out now. Just wait for it. It's coming. I swear. It's,
Yeah.
I mean, it was
Doesn't that sound
E3.
familiar? Dead
Yeah.
Rising,
What was that other dragon game that was supposed to come out? That was supposed to be pretty badass on Xbox.
the dragon game.
Remember the?
I have no
like
idea.
Dragon Age or something.
No, it was the one where the guy was riding the dragon and turns into a dragon, has the headphones, and it's like a.
What in God's name are you talking
What was
about?
that called? This is like one thing that was like almost be a release game for Xbox. They lost it. Hold on.
Wasn't this Days Gone? Wasn't this a year ago at E3 where they dropped a game demo of the guy running through the train yard and all these zombies are?
That was
that
Days Gone.
It was
Is that
Days
what it
Gone.
was? Okay.
Yeah, and I remember then being just like in awe at how many zombies were
The
in this
name
game.
sounded familiar when you mentioned like Days Gone. I was like, okay, cool. That sounds like maybe a game that came out a while ago. Completely forgot or oblivious to it. And then I see the trailer. I'm like, okay, the trailer looks amazing. You got this guy running through an empty city, surviving. Really, meeting with his people or getting shot at by other survivors.
Scalebound. So yeah, Scalebound was the game. I'm telling you, you're gonna remember it if you see the trailer.
Oh, okay. When did the trailer first drop?
So it was supposed to be like a release Xbox game, and then it got canceled.
Oh, that sucks.
But it was a whole thing like it was by Platinum Games.
It was like they took the whole Silent Hills treatment, where it's like, dude, this game's going to be amazing.
Well, they would
and then
release
just
like a
play.
new teaser trailer about it, like, oh, it's coming out, it's this great game, and then finally, like, yeah, we crapped
The
out,
week
guys, so.
later, 1 week later, they pulled the plug. They're like, you know what? The trailer was nice, but it ain't gonna happen. Not for this generation.
We've
of
got a new
consoles.
Fable game, guys. Oh no, the studio's crapped out. Yeah, we lost them too. Oh, okay, bye Lionhead Studios. Okay,
Yeah.
awesome.
But you know what? All your past Fable games, bring them over. We'll make it backwards compatible for you.
Hell yeah, dude. That's how that works now. So Days Gone is set in the zombie apocalypse, and you play as, I don't think they've dropped the name of this guy, but he was part of a motorcycle club, it looks like.
It's a spinoff from Sons of Anarchy.
Boom. I was gonna say like from Grand Theft Auto days, like the Lost and the Damned.
Yeah.
That biker
Yeah.
group is like him. Like he just spun off.
Yeah,
and
he's got a nomad patch, so he doesn't even have a club to run off and try to help.
join or help or
Yeah.
defend.
So he's out there
against-
just surviving on his own,
Yeah.
going from town to town, and at the very end of the trailer, he's just cruising along, and his bike.
dies in the middle of the streets. We saw him like shoot zombies, fucking rip a zombie off of him, trying to bite him, and then
Yeah.
punch a zombie and shit. And so,
And you have to not only fight the zombies and crazy people, but animals. There were wolves
There was
that were
wolves out
zombies.
there.
Zombie wolves, yeah. That's the
Yeah.
first time I've seen zombie animal. Well, I guess Resident Evil's done that, but I mean,
Yeah.
but these are zombie wolves.
Like
But
in
in
a
Resident
modern
Evil,
one.
it's only Dobermans.
True. Yeah.
Oh, there's birds.
All these military dogs, Dobermans, is coming after you.
Yeah.
And the birds, the zombie birds picking at your eyes.
Yeah, but these zombie birds they had sheer numbers, and they were trying to attack him. And he was in a car. I looked at, and they were just like coming at the windshield.
Yeah, they're just bashing through the windshield. There's like so much crazy shit going on in that little like minute and a half. But at that very end, that last scene where the motorcycle just died at the end, I was like, all of us were just like, oh.
I was like, dude, you
We're
are
bringing back the birds.
you're
It's like,
so
you know.
screwed.
Yeah.
All right, let's talk about the Tetris effect. Now, Sony had dropped this trailer, I want to say the day before E3 even started.
And I dropped my acid right before I watched the trailer too.
You probably should, and then wait a half hour and then boot up this trailer. Gotta wait for it to kick in because, dude, this is 2001: A Space Odyssey, Ready Player One, and then like really pretty music, and you got Tetris.
Yeah.
This is a VR property, right?
It would be the best reason to get the PSVR or whatever what other systems is going to come on, the Vive or I'm surprised Microsoft didn't drop any type of hints for a VR system or AR system that they're going to use.
When is Sony going to release that cable you just stick in the back of your head like the Matrix style?
Oh, it's already out.
Oh, it's already out. Okay. I'm late to that. It's a straight up
You're already
analog
plugged
cables.
in. You not even realized.
So Microsoft they're still dabbling in this whole VR thing. I know Sony's gone #all in.
I think they're doing more on the PC side. I think they're working with like Dell and other people with the AR. They're trying to kind of do all that.
They're making like the multi-platform. You buy the one game, you can play it on all your devices and stuff like that.
I feel like that's why they killed the Kinect, because they saw that technology as a precursor to use like for VR technology, and so they basically said, "Hey, we're not doing much with Kinect. Let's kill that."
Yeah.
Start working on this VR technology, which we might see in a year or two, or maybe not until the next system, or maybe not at all. But I feel like VR is either going to do the way to 3D, it's either going to drop off, we're never going to see it, or you're going to start seeing new, better VR stuffs coming out. So
because, as good as some of these VR games look, they also, when you go into the games, they still feel gimmicky.
Yeah, well, I mean, you're always going to feel like because you can't really see yourself in there. I mean, you might see, they give you controls and things so you can see your hands in the virtual reality, but you're never in.
It's the
reality.
feedback, I think. When you smash something with a sword, you're expecting to feel something. When you get shot, you want to feel like something. Just like having a controller that vibrates.
Yeah.
I mean, ever since the Rumble Pack of the Nintendo 64 days, that was the most exciting thing ever. You got shot, boom, boom. It started. Now every controller has to have that. So I think when we get that next step into changing what peripherals are for like VR, either they're a feedback chest plate or some sort of. I mean, seriously, it's gonna happen. I mean, you talk
Call
about
of Duty chest plate where you get shot with a shotgun.
Ready Player One. Did you?
Yeah. I loved Ready Player One.
I read the book. I love Spielberg, but after reading the book and then watching the movie, I'm kind of disappointed. I got to go back and watch it and just not have the book mindset in my head, because everybody that has not read the book and seen the movie is like, it's amazing.
Yeah.
I guess I was just expecting so much, and then it was good. It just didn't deliver what I was expecting.
I think the Shining scene was like the crowning achievement. I love how they changed up those.
That was when she ran
those
away.
tasks, and I was like, "Oh my god, The Shining! This is fucking amazing."
It was all Universal properties. That's
Yeah,
well, that was the thing.
It's really what it was.
Well, if you read the book, there's a whole bunch of old like '80s nostalgia, other things to talk about, but they probably couldn't get all that licensing, so they had to get what under Spielberg is under. So Universal. So that's why you had King Kong and Jurassic Park and anything that was licensed by Universal. Not bad, but
yeah, I wish that other studios would have just gone all in and played ball, and we would have had like something like Roger Rabbit.
But that's why I wish you'd make a game out of something like that.
Out of like what, Ready Player One?
Yeah, because you could cross so many different licenses with that instead of being held down by one.
Yeah. All right. The last trailer that we checked out before everything we get rolling here is Ghosts of Tsushima.
This is a trailer that Chops introduced to us. Told us about a guy playing a bamboo flute in the middle of the E3 of the Sony E3 presentation. So we decided to boot it up, and we got a 11-minute gameplay video of some kick-ass samurai movie story. Or Chops, you give us a little more.
Well,
of that?
Sony, I think their conference was pretty nice as well. They had a nice artistic presentation. They started off with right before a little prelude for Last of Us 2. They did that whole little banjo player on there. So they left a little barn with lights, guy playing a banjo, did the Last of Us trailer, and then they moved into the bigger conference area where they had guy playing a little, bamboo flute going off through, Morricone stuff. They had 3D imaging of, looked like wheatgrass fields in Japan and stuff like that, and then kind of led into this whole samurai genre video game done by Sucker Punch, which it's a beautiful freaking game.
This looks amazing.
Yeah, it's the guy. You picks up a red leaf on the ground, and then you see his very extravagant, detailed hat and his brow and his facial expression when you first see the character, and then they have that little pure moment when he reaches the end of the cliff to see the overall world or the landscape.
Yeah,
and they had that like you said, a God of War cinematic, a panoramic of the whole landscape of this open world that you're in the middle of between Mongolians and Japanese.
Yeah, I guess it's some war between the Japanese and Mongols invading that area.
But this game, the style of gameplay is very reminiscent of that of Tomb Raider. Mm-hmm. And I love those Tomb Raider games. Yeah. And so I want to play this game. Is this an exclusive to Sony?
I believe so.
God damn it. Because I don't have a PlayStation.
Hey, it's time to upgrade to a PlayStation. I'll tell you now.
I think what it is. I mean, like those we're all Xbox. We start off with Xbox. We have all ones. We had the 360s. We had the ones. We had not the ones, but
Well, PlayStation is known for their single player games. I think they're pushing that whole genre of game outside of any other. Xbox, you really don't have that anymore. You've got a lot of multiplayer games. Even the Switch has got more puzzle kind of games for family and stuff like that. But this is those strong story driven single player games that are pushing it. Last year was Horizon Zero Dawn. You've got, of course, they did Infamous and stuff like that, which was I believe the Sucker Punch was the same studio that's doing.
I think so.
The Ghost of Tsushima.
I don't know why I'm thinking Insomnia, but probably. But yeah, so basically, the PlayStation is your single man's console.
I've never looked at it that way.
They have the multiplayer one, but they just have that strong focus. They see what games can become.
Yeah.
It's that interactive movie now. You can have the little fun games, you can have side-scrolling ones, but now, these are interactive experiences that we're going through. That's why, like I said, this one looks like straight out of a Akira Kurosawa, samurai film, and all you're doing is kind of running through the paces, from fighting bad guys to samurai duels to riding in the fall, like you said, in Japan. So. And
you mentioned, too, that it has, it's a cinematic video game, and then, in those scenes where he pulls out the samurai sword and starts fighting these three dudes on the side, fucking this guy just rips the samurai, your character rips the throat of some other guys out. Just straight up rips the throat out.
Yeah. And then, of course, at the very end of the trailer where he starts fighting that lady, and we get the side shot. And in the background, I guess the sun's setting or whatever, and the leaves are blowing, and they're standing at opposite ends of the screen, and it is like a samurai movie, and it's a standoff.
Yeah.
And they draw their swords and go at it.
A little, contrast, going on there.
And then little by little, it starts getting darker, and then the other invading Mongols hear the signs from what he fucked up
earlier. As the sun sets, you start seeing the fire arrows being launched over, then lighting. Of course, those nice bright red leaves are lighting on fire. So the same color is being replaced, just like how it's changing on the screen.
Yeah.
I made the comment that this trailer basically just shows off how Japan looks beautiful in the fall.
Yeah.
Okay. So let's go ahead and let's talk the crux of our discussion here. We're talking E3. Let's start things off with the Bethesda press conference. They had a game called Rage 2. Now you play as Walker in this post-apocalyptic sequel that takes place in the future in which 80% of the world's population died after an asteroid strike. Now, I was not very into Rage. It wasn't a game for me. But this one looks very pretty, and it looks actually kind of fun. But I don't know if I could invest in this type of video game because I am very behind in several other video games.
I think we all are. It's not like it was in the past. Everybody had the same game, they'd share it or play it. Now it's like there's 8 million games that, okay, I'm playing these 3, and my friend's playing that 3, and so you have to kind of focus.
And not to mention, we're playing these large, expansive games, these open world games that have many different options to choose from. It's not all just one linear, point A to point B. It's like point A and whatever else you want to do. And so it takes
hundreds of hours of gameplay.
It takes a while to finish.
Yeah.
It takes a while to finish a game. I just finished Lego Batman not too long ago.
And he's just talking about the movie.
Yeah.
You finished Lego Batman?
No, I finished that a while ago, and by a while ago I mean last month. But
oh, okay. Was that the last game that you played?
No, I mean right now I have a 3DS. So Pokemon, Super Smash Brothers, Melee, and this little run and gun handgun shooter game that I'm playing. This is what consumes most of my gaming nowadays. When I do get on the Xbox, it's basically GTA 5 and Red Dead Redemption. So because it's like that story, and because I'm working on a mission to try to complete the 100% completion.
Yeah. Oh my God. Good luck on stuff like that.
No joke.
Well, yeah, no, that's one of the things that you can't get there. You get as high, you upgrade and get all the fancy horses you want, but
after devoting so many hours to certain games, you get to the end and you're just kind of like, awesome. I'll go to the next one.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll go back and play a game. Maybe.
Yeah.
It's odd when you finish such a long game and you move on to the next game and you have to start with nothing.
You're kind of mad. You
get a little bit. I'm like,
I'm just like, wait a minute. I just had a level 80, sorcerer. Now I gotta fucking play this, this renegade shooter who left
level 1. God.
Yeah.
Why can't these characters all be awesome?
That's why pay for play came out.
That's
for a
why
long
I
time,
can't
pay for play.
That's why I can't do Assassin's Creed anymore because I played the first 2 and then I played the black the.
But they look like they're changing.
One.
The engine's changing. The gameplay.
I don't want to start over again.
No, I know.
I don't want to find a new. I don't want to find a new Brotherhood. I don't want.
It's like the superhero thing too. I keep on getting tired of seeing introductions to superheroes. Let's see Spider-Man as an adult that's been doing this for a while, not the same little kid that's been to high school and
Yeah.
I don't want to see the beginning story over and over and over again. Same with X-Men. The license just got changed over too. I don't want the same thing to be
Yeah, we know who Magneto is. Where is he? Let him fuck up some shit. And where's
Well,
Wolverine?
it's kind of like Rage. The first Rage came out at the end, I think, of the 360 cycle, right when Xbox One was kind of coming out. So it kind of got buried.
Right.
Under so many games that come out, and the new system, nobody really played
New
it. I
graphics,
think
whatever.
I downloaded it when it was cheap just to try it out, and I kind of gave it a try. And it's it's a run and gun kind of action, first person shooter along the same lines of like Wolfenstein and Doom, but maybe just more Mad Maxy and a little Borderlandsy kind of. But
Yeah. Speaking of Doom, we got Doom Eternal. Doom 2016 is getting a sequel, and this game is going to pick up where the previous one ended and is going to feature twice as many demons, and you are going to get Hell on Earth.
I don't know if they use the word sequel, though. The way they talked about it, they're just kind of expanding on what the fans wanted. I feel like it's going to be a multiplayer game, like all these ones that are kind of coming out, that they're like, even the Halo thing, too. I feel like Halo Infinite is not going to be like a sequel. It's this whole, like the whole Fallout 76 thing. I feel like it's this whole thing that's going to be a crossover multiplayer game they're trying to join and build a community on. It's going to be the Destiny of Doom is what's going to happen. You go out there, I wouldn't doubt it, The fact that they're calling it Doom Eternal, they just kind of hints to they're trying to have something with DLC and constant gameplay. Yeah. I'm just how I'm taking it. I could be totally wrong, but
no, because you have a lot of Microsoft is really pushing out a lot of games that have been announced for next year or 2019. Everything has an Infinity expansion forever or stuff like that. So basically, they're trying to make Xbox as an infinite thing. We're always going to be here. We're not going to change consoles.
Yeah, but they did really good with the Elder Scrolls Online. Look, we're making money. Yeah. We're going to continue to have download, and we have the same IP, the same. You add a few deals. You have the same studio working on something for a while. So why not try it with a different?
Look at the GTA line. Final Fantasy 11 online, those went out for years. It's
you
still
keep
going
people
strong.
on there, and then you don't have to wait to release, Elder Scrolls 6 for another, 10 years because you kept them on, growing with Elder Scrolls Online. We already showed you that land on Elder Scrolls Online.
Yeah, before we show you the graphic of our new game, let me show you the expansion that we're giving you.
Look, Hell Eternal, it's Hell on Earth. We can't go further than that, okay, guys? Oh, we're taking Hell to outer space now, guys.
There you go.
We've got some.
That's the pinnacle of everything. Once
the
you get
devil is Thanos, and Thanos is destroying the universe.
Yeah. Once you get through Doom Eternal, we're going to go to the moon.
Yeah, exactly.
Because once you already take over the surface of the Earth, what else is there? Because we see that in the trailer.
Full fucking moon.
Completely flip the scripts on you. It's Doom Internal, they just go into the core of the Earth.
Oh,
so they took care of the surface, and now we're getting into the mantle.
Okay, the Doom
into the
guy.
hot magma.
The Doom guy.
Remember, they said they're bringing Hell to Earth is what they're doing with Doom Eternal.
Right.
Yeah. So now we're going back. As we said,
yeah.
Now we're going Gears of War.
Now we're bringing.
Is that what you're saying? Now we're basically playing Gears of War now.
You brought Hell on Earth, and now we're bringing it back to you.
Yeah. And this time it's going to be personal.
Yeah, exactly.
Coming back with interest.
Oh my God. Well, we also got Wolfenstein
Doom 4, the chill out.
It's a winter storm.
Yeah. We got Wolfenstein Youngblood. You had mentioned Wolfenstein briefly as we were discussing Doom Eternal. In this new addition to the Wolfenstein series, you will play as BJ Blazkowicz, his twin daughters, and it'll take place in the 1980s. And because there will be twins, there will also be a co-op mode.
I like this, the co-op mode of it, because it's one thing you watch someone just trying to beat a dungeon, go through the game and everything, and hey, you want to play a little bit, and he absolutely sucks. Now both of you together can get on the game and suck together.
I still like the first player concept. You can play without being co-op, but it all has to do with how strong that AI character is.
Yeah.
I think recently one of the best AI characters with God of War, your son literally has awesome AI on there. He can hold his own. You don't have to worry about the old, was it Resident Evil 5 where you had to have that, that one bitch on the side you always had to take care of. She died.
Oh,
or used up all your potions or
Sheva
whatever.
was the worst.
It's like,
the
what's the
daughter,
point?
right?
Yeah.
No, Resident Evil 4
that was
5?
4. That was
Okay.
4. Well,
Yeah.
same thing.
Yeah.
Either way, shitty AI,
Same AI, just a different face.
I don't want to have to save you every 5 minutes. I'm sorry. That takes
true.
away from my gameplay.
Yeah.
That's just saying you got a shitty game if I have to worry about my AI character more than I have to worry about the game that you created.
Yeah. I don't mind buying loot boxes for make my AI smarter.
Oh my God! Don't give them ideas.
Don't
give them ideas.
It'll be like,
It's Bethesda, I have to say. They're one of the greater studios. I've got all the confidence in the world, especially after playing the Wolfenstein games. Hopefully, by playing co-op mode like this, you can have two different sides of the story. If I switched off and I played through one way, I could switch to play the other way, and it's a wholly different feel.
Yeah, it's kind of like how Gears of War used to do. When Gears of War used to play co-op, and then there was a point where you had to split, and then one person will take on the left side, and the other one would take on the right side.
I think they still do that, even in the series now, which is pretty awesome.
Yeah, I always like that.
Yeah.
we got Fallout 76. Now, Todd Howard has confirmed that this will be a multiplayer game, but will have a solo mode as well. Also, when the online beta comes, Also, when the online beta comes out, players will be able to launch nuclear missiles. The special edition of the game will come with a glow-in-the-dark world map, some figures, and a wearable T-31 power armor helmet. And the game is set to release on November 4th. It should also be mentioned that this game is also 4 times as big as Fallout 4.
Yeah, so they're all like
that's a big game.
That's a big game.
Ridiculous.
You get a kick-ass helmet. You get a map that fucking glows in the dark.
That's for the pre-order, I think.
Yeah, I think that's what it is. But
they're not going to do what they did for Fallout 4, where like the deluxe edition, you got one of the Pit Boys, and you just put your phone.
They're doing the power armor helmet.
Well, that's the thing. Like every game they come out with, you get a little more piece of the armor. Pretty soon, Fallout 25.
Dude, I would love another Pit Boy though. I never got one, and I was like, that was the one reason I tried to like get one of those things. I was like, $100. I don't care. Click, no, out everywhere. Crap.
Oh my god. Yeah, people would just buy them up and then flip them.
Yeah.
That's outrageous.
So little by little, if people had the little gauntlet, people will get the helmet. Then they come out with a chest piece later. Then you'll get the boots with the next release, and then little by little, you will get the whole armor suit. You walk around like a mech.
What was the name of the dog in Fallout 4? Meat bag or something like that.
Something like that.
It was some weird name like that.
I thought they were talking about like, okay, that when you kill people, they become meat bags, so you could pick them up and carry
No,
their
there was
meat
some
around.
like funny name they gave the dog in Fallout 4, and I was like, what do you give that on the side one of these days too? Like, oh, you can adopt a dog. It's meat bag.
And it wasn't. They didn't call the dog dead meat or anything.
It was something weird like that. I know people are gonna laugh at me and like, no, it's the wrong name.
Yeah, people are gonna be like, what the fuck are these guys?
Dog meat. Maybe it was dog meat.
Oh, that makes sense.
His inbox is going to explode with his hate mail.
Yeah.
You know, the further we go down this list of games, Doom Eternal. I still have the Doom that came out a couple of years ago. I got that on a Black Friday.
Yeah.
Haven't opened it. And
that's
Fallout,
on VR now too.
Yeah, it's on VR. Fallout, it's going to the Switch as well.
Skyrim, that's on VR now too.
Yeah.
Fallout 4, that's on VR now. I mean, Bethesda's getting there. You know?
They're the ones that are spearheading this whole thing. Fallout 76.
And who else? Who else better?
That'd be a good game to play multiplayer VR though.
Oh yeah, that would. Yeah, Fallout game.
That'd be
a
good interaction. That'd push the VR thing. I think to have you able to talk to somebody right there next to you while in VR in their full avatar, dressed up suit.
Yeah, it's like, hey man, like here's my chest. Here's my chest. Gives me +5. Here you go.
So you're talking some Ready Player One level shit right there.
But that's where we're getting, man.
The
I'm
game teased
you.
it. He's been reading the book, so he's a fanboy from day one when it was on paperback. So he's been ready for this. He's prepared this little by little.
I didn't own the book. I listened to it on Audible.
Audible, yeah. We need to get a partnership with that. We can't talk.
Seriously, dude. The way I talk about Audible,
the way you talk about it, just like the promo code ADD Run-In.
It's the fucking best.
Gets you 30 days with the trial, and you get
Hello,
to keep
Audible.
one book.
This is the Run-In. We'd like some free codes to use.
Send it over.
Please and thank you.
Thank you so much. They're so tiny. Look at this little water.
Yeah. So Fallout
Power
4.
to the hostess with the mostest, Miss Sarah.
Thank you, Sarah.
Thanks, Sarah.
She gives me the finger over the countertop. I'm like, what did I do?
It's an abusive house in this place.
But Fallout 4, the one, like I had never played a Fallout game before. And going into Fallout 4, I had bought New Vegas and 3 because they were cheap on a sale. And I was like, let me buy these for like, I think it was like $8 each or something. Haven't played those because life happens.
Well, let me borrow it.
No
and
way.
then the thing that got me into Fallout 4 was Dion's The Wanderer. That song attached to the trailer, and I just looked at the trailer and I said, I have to own this game. I was like, I have to play this fucking game.
This guy's a sucker
Now
for
the question
marketing.
is, have you played or have you just created a character and like logged on? I mean,
Well, at the time that it
Have
came
you
out,
left the vault?
seriously, at the time that it came out, I did get
you
to
can leave
play
the vault?
I did play it when we did.
Have all these records there.
When me and the guys used to have our Twitch show, I did get to play it on a PlayStation. And the downside is that when I wanted to play it, I obviously don't have a PlayStation, and I was like, okay, well, I'm gonna buy it. I'm gonna buy it on that Black Friday, and I'm gonna buy it for the Xbox. And I did. I haven't opened it.
Hey, guess what? It's also free on Game Pass right now too.
There you go.
It's
It's free on fucking Game Pass. But like, why would I go on Game Pass? I have
because
the
it's only
physical
$1
copy.
for the first 30 days for anybody.
Only $1 for the first 30 days, and how much afterwards?
Hold on.
$29.99.
I'm sorry, Microsoft's having me tell something else, but no, I'm
Wait,
sorry.
what was it? Okay, no.
Don't have Xbox Gold yet? Well,
Yeah,
Oh my goodness.
that's what it was. Like at the end of every trailer
sorry, they
or
plugged me to do
reveal.
a plug.
Yeah.
Just,
Yeah, after every plug and every reveal, they always had like it's gonna be on Game Pass on day one.
Yes, they were really pushing that whole Game Pass
available
thing.
for something else, or coming to the Xbox store. They're gonna say like coming to your retailer. It's coming to the Xbox store first.
Yeah.
Then everyone else will get their shit.
That's
like
gonna be the new
Walmart?
thing, I guess. Hey, do you want this game? Well, it's gonna be out on PlayStation first.
Yeah. Or but now
Free DLC on this system.
Now they're doing it on the physical copies. You want to buy the physical game, you could download it on your Xbox, or you come to the Xbox store and buy it on day one, or you
can preload the game so it'll be ready to play at midnight instead of you had to load it up and take 3 hours from the disc.
And then not to mention everyone else
Xbox
trying
is
to get on the
biggest
server.
downfall. It takes 3 hours to load the game from the disc.
God forbid you get an update in the middle of your game. Fucking A. You would think with technology and all these games being so badass and so massive and so huge, why can't we just fix the one thing, just downloading and updating?
Well, the first thing they want you to do is click on their, terms and service to let you know that you don't actually own the game.
Right.
Even if you bought the disc, you don't own that game. That they control,
We're renting you.
Just so you know.
We're renting the people to play our games.
You're clicking your soul away to play our game right now.
It's like, was it that South Park thing where the fine print that no one reads?
For the iPad, yeah.
Yeah, it was for the
Synth iPad or whatever.
The sent to iPad?
Yes.
Yeah.
That's what it was. Okay, so we also got...
Do you want me to eat the cuttlefish?
Yeah.
Or what was the other thing?
It's like ice cream, vanilla ice cream, or the cuttlefish.
Oh, I got to eat the cuttlefish. I'm so sorry. Oh my God, here it comes.
What I liked about Fallout 76 is the fact that they talked about small player, co-op. It was going to be dozens of players on the same map, not hundreds or thousands.
Right.
So it's not like Elder Scrolls Online where there's just a bunch of people playing. It's an MMORPG. It's like, a dystopian future. You're stuck out there in the middle of nowhere. If you find somebody, are you going to shoot them or are you going to friend them? And how's it going to happen?
Yeah. And then, like you mentioned earlier, the mention of nukes. So all the level 30, the level 30
That's going to
and
piss
plus
off
people.
so many people. They're going to spend hours and hours building a city just to get nuked, and then I fucking quit. That's it. I'm out.
I do hope that if they're gonna do nukes, they make it a very fucking tedious and very grind heavy thing to do. Like you have to put 20 plus hours just to get.
You got to go
one
find some
letter of a
batteries.
code.
You have to go get some fusion cells and stuff.
Yeah.
They're gonna make it to where you're not just gonna hit a button. It's gonna launch. I'm sure.
It's like you gotta work.
Game over.
You want to blow some shit up? Is you gotta earn it.
At the end of the day, the name of the game is to make money.
What
And
if they blow
put
themselves up trying to launch it too? I mean, that's kind of hey, Fallout 3. Whenever you do the nuke town, you had the choice to blow it up or do whatever. They can do the same thing. Maybe in trying to fix it, you blow yourself up, and so
The one fucking noob who
you see the
who
light
joins the
like
party.
halfway across the map. What's that?
The one fucking noob who joins the party has the launch codes and doesn't know how to use the map and ends up nuking himself.
Oh my!
Does this switch really work? Yeah.
You said that you hope that it's like a grind process to get a nuke. If the name of the game is to make money, if they put a price point of $80 out of the gate to buy a nuke, people will buy.
Give me a
nuke.
mech suit for $80. Fuck it.
They're not EA though. They're not EA.
They're not. No, these people are actually
They
generous.
take
smart.
pride. They take pride in their games.
Yeah,
You're,
that is
you're
true.
giving us the power of nuclear weapons. Something that
It'll be at least $100.
There's going to be some low-level writer that's going to be like, I think if we marked them at $80, they'll pay. Get out. What?
Then the one guy's thinking in the back.
Cletus?
Yeah.
What the fuck is Cletus doing out of an executive office making decisions for Bethesda, the largest company in the world?
We also got an update for Fallout Shelter, the companion game to Fallout 4 and Fallout 76.
Yeah. Don't have an HD TV or a fancy game console? Download it on your iPhone.
There you go. Yeah, Fallout Shelter is
Do you
a
want to
mobile
wait
entry.
hours to build one room?
Yeah.
All right.
Oh yeah, it is. That is
Best
what
part
it is.
about it, no nukes.
It's the new form of strategy game where it's the freemium game. Do you want to pay $20 to unlock this room now? Well, you can do that right now.
Yeah.
Isn't it nuts that this Fallout Shelter came out 3 years ago already?
Yeah.
That is like God.
But
I feel
they talked
old.
about it like it's the brand newest thing. It's like, hey, we just made the colors different,
Yeah.
instead of a red building, it's a blue building now.
Well,
but now it's available on the Switch.
It's coming out on the Switch and the PS4 and is now available for free.
And so, another thing that it's free. Nintendo Switch is really really putting a lot of games on there and for free. Like
Yeah,
you
and- oh
own
my
the system.
Oh my God.
You paid $250 earlier in December? Congratulations. Here's a free game.
No, but you think about it. Look at Xbox and PS4 now. They've got a bunch of free games on the market already. Big games too. Warframe, it's the tank World of Tanks.
But you know what?
know?
You have to have a subscription. Like I have to have a gold membership, and then I could get like the Game Pass or whatever.
And then you get your free
this
games
is
on gold.
outside the Gold Pass. This
Oh,
is just
really?
free games that's how they offer through the development because they want people to pay for the coins and all the other stuff. But it's on market. You can go on there for Xbox. It's these games that are just free.
Uh-huh. Well, maybe what Nintendo is banking on is that, I have to pay $10 or $12 a month for my gold membership to Microsoft. And I don't know what the price point is for PlayStation, but, over the course of an entire year, you're dropping quite a bit of coin on just the membership. And Nintendo is like, we're going to have the same thing, but for $20, you could get the whole year.
Yeah.
$20 fucking dollars?
That's it. That's a Benjamin right there. One Benjamin, one
for a company that
a 20 sack of weed. I'll get you maybe 10 joints.
But they know the thing is they never drop their price
Nintendo.
of their console. They never drop the price of their games
because everything is just a little cheaper for them
they
anyway.
They never take a loss. So that's the whole point. Is they're always staying where all you see these games drop price in PS4 and Xbox. They stay across the board, but people buy their games.
Yeah,
The next person tells you, "Oh, I'm going to get Metroid. Oh, I'm going to get Zelda." And what happens? They buy it. They're going to spend that money, and they're going to sell Zelda until the day it dies for $60. So
God, man, for a company that could just print money, because a long time ago, me, Zach, and Emar here on this show, we discussed what if Nintendo got into the pop business.
The what?
The pop business.
Oh,
those little vinyl pops.
Yeah,
there aren't Nintendo ones.
If
they, because they have the
they have
thing.
their own proprietary. Yeah,
but dude,
they're not pop vinyls,
if they wanted to continue doing amiibos and then just bank on pop, they would bank on pop.
I wonder how much money they would make doing that. Because people. I'm sorry. There's so much Nintendo licensing that if they were to they go the way of Sega or Atari, become like a game company and not have a console, I think they'd probably make more money that way. How many people would not want to play a badass Mario or Zelda or something like that with better graphics on a powerful engine? But with the Switch, they're crossing mediums there. You've got a portable system that can be a home system that you could you saw with the Nintendo Direct. You can interconnect them, so it becomes something totally different than what anything else is now. It's a whole new concept of gaming.
It's a whole new
Damn
world.
it! I was about to say, como se dice,
whole new console point of view. Whether I have my 1 or 2 controls.
Oh my God. What is it?
I can't believe he's still singing.
I got another chorus here.
He has notes on a song. Bethesda announced Starfield.
Crying on his little phone there.
My little ocarina.
Goodness. Starfield is a new original property and is in development now, and it will be out for next generation consoles. We know
quote unquote next generation. It's so beyond its time. It can't decide.
My ears perked up. I was like, are we already talking about next gen consoles?
Well, with the games they have, I'm expecting a better version of Mass Effect. And Mass Effect 1 and 2 were awesome. 3 was good, and then they all went to crap after that. But if you go back and look at some of the storylines, with Bethesda having Skyrim, the Elder Scrolls, and then of course Doom, all these big things with massive storylines.
They have a high rank in as far as like storytelling or like story driven games. So when any games they've announced,
their worlds
like
are so massive and big.
Yeah,
like Skyrim, there's not just a regular standard storyline. There's so many side quests, and even outside of that, every NPC you can do a quest for. And you can literally go back and forth across these huge maps. They want you to see every inch they made on these maps. They want you to play the games in their full perspective. That's what I like to do. That's why I love open world games. I'm going to find the Easter eggs that weren't meant to be found. I'm going to find the little jagged edge on the tree that just because I'm walking around. I mean, it's an escape. To me, games are escapes. I want to see the people time and effort into this. Art
I might be level 75 and only gotten through the second story mission in the main story, but I'm jacked. Boom.
Well, you did mention the Elder Scrolls. We got Part 6 coming. It's on its way.
We got the typography for it.
Yeah.
That's what Bethesda said. It's
scrolling
on its way.
Text across the screen. A nice shot from Peter Jackson's Lord of the Rings.
Yeah.
Show off the logo. Let's get people talking, and then
notice there was no secondary title. It just said Elder Scrolls 6.
Yeah.
Working title.
The tagline is eventually. Elder Scrolls eventually. Let's move on.
It's coming.
But people read it as internal, like, oh wow, internally.
Well, they are going to give us Elder Scrolls Blades, which is a little mobile game.
Yeah, that's kind of cool.
That's nice of
them.
But
even then, it's not just a mobile game. Apparently, it's on all the consoles as well. But I guess they were pushing at first the iPhone. They're like, oh, you can play it better on an iPhone 10
on this M10 chip that that will be deemed obsolete by next year.
Apparently, my phone is obsolete, as Sarah over there has been telling me these past couple of days.
Yeah, it doesn't take long.
I was trying to use the GPS on the car the other day, and we were cruising, and it was in my lap, and it was like searching for GPS. I'd hold it up, and then it would calibrate. I'd put it back down, and it would be like searching for GPS. I was like, "You piece of crap!
You don't know when you're standing up or laying down."
I'm like, "You're moving from the height of my steering wheel to my lap, and you're telling me like you lose signal,
Dude, I'm laying down. I'm on a break.
I bet you anything, you fling your phone like a frisbee, it's gonna fucking like know exact location where it's at. It's like, okay,
Unacceptable." Let's talk Sony. Let's talk some
So you're getting
Kingdom
a Sony
Hearts.
phone? No, I'm kidding.
Let's talk some Kingdom Hearts 3. I think when
Ooh,
this trailer
yes.
dropped, I heard a little screech in the wind, and I was like, that has to be Jimmy.
Indeed it was. A long time
Very
ago.
high-pitched screech.
Long time ago, back when we were just young and little teenage boys and girls, 16, 17-year-old maybe, there was a little game that came out cross-fitting Final Fantasy and Disney called Kingdom Hearts 1. The game took me away. I was hooked from then. Then they announced, then they came out with Kingdom Hearts 2 maybe 2-3 years later, and then nothing.
Oh, yeah. It was
For years, there was rumors and rumblings around and that there may be a new Kingdom Hearts game.
Is it this gaming generation? No, it's going to be the next generation.
Right. It's going to be the next generation. Be the next generation.
Oh, that
We
was
got-
your whole Square
Oh,
Enix.
dude, I know what I'm talking about.
merging
Oh, it's
there,
coming. Oh,
you
it's coming
know.
to the DS. Cool. Oh no, it's a side game. Okay, I
okay,
got you. I
okay.
got you. Oh wait, it's coming to the Nintendo. Okay,
No, man. It'll be across major platforms. You don't know what you're talking about, bro.
it's a secondary game. Okay. Oh,
I saw on the dark web that this is confirmed, bro.
yeah. For years, there have been rumblings of a game coming out soon called Kingdom Hearts 3, the third saga, the end piece of the Xehanort saga between Sora, Roxas, and Donald and Goofy and Mickey Mouse, of course, and this epic story between Final Fantasy and between worlds and them combining, to save the universe. But we never heard anything until now. Well, last year we had the first look at a gameplay video of Kingdom Hearts, and we got everyone excited. Like, hey, we got gameplay features.
Yeah.
No release date. We got another gameplay video. No release date.
Yeah.
This has been going back and forth for the last 2 years. Most of us grown-ass people who play the game as kids gave up and moved on to more heavier games like Elder Scrolls and what
Elder
have you.
Squirrels? That's a
Elder-
good game.
Fighting for nuts.
Yeah, that's what it is. So when this game finally does come out, and it looked really adorable, and
Yeah,
it
it
looked
did.
very pretty. I saw there was a Pirates of the Caribbean
Adorable,
trailer.
yeah,
The
that-
Pirates Caribbean trailer. So you had different trailers.
Yeah.
Microsoft had their little bit of trailer that showcased the Frozen world or
Yeah.
the Frozen people. You had another trailer that Square Enix showcased off about more gameplay footage about the Hercules universe and,
Yes.
and whatnot.
I also saw some Toy Story.
Toy Story is being the big one. Toy Story is a big one. Monsters Inc. is another
There
big
you go, yeah.
franchise that's going to be a part of this game. But we didn't see anything about Pirates of the Caribbean until this last trailer that looks
Yeah.
fucking lifelike.
Dude. And isn't
Donald
that Johnny?
and Goofy look so
No,
real.
it sounds like a voice actor that sounds like Johnny
Dude,
Depp.
that dude
Yeah.
sounds just like Johnny Depp. I went on IMDb and I was like, if Johnny Depp's in this game, he's not part of the cast. I wonder if it's an uncredited cameo.
all your
They
favorite
just find
Disney.
some random guy like, hey, can you sound like Johnny Depp?
And he's like, he's one of
Awesome.
these guys that could do Johnny Depp, Christopher Walken, Donald Trump.
Exactly.
Yeah.
We got a Tinfer. All right,
we found
guys.
a replacement for Robbie Williams.
Yeah, there you go. But he's just like some low level writer at Sony
Yeah.
or Bethesda or whatever.
So would you like some extra pay? Hey,
And he's
guess
like,
what?
sure. And he does like a Robert De Niro, like, huzzah! Is that it? I'll take that as a yes. Sign him up. Go ahead.
That sounds like a good Mickey. You got the job.
Now, the one thing I think the game is missing, since they picked up the rights to Marvel and also Star Wars, is one of the characters, at least from, you don't have to have like the whole cast in there, but you throw, an R2-D2 in there,
Give me
you
a
throw
Millennium
something. Exactly. Just give somebody a little taste of
A lightsaber keyblade.
yeah. Hey,
Hey, yeah.
that's something, or you
Square-
can hint to a game
hope
too.
you're hearing us,
you know?
Square
Hey,
Enix.
brother. Yeah, exactly.
But I'm very excited for this game. It's been a long time coming. Even me, as a 30-year-old man who's still like very enthralled by the story of this game. Like, this game really got me and really got me hooked. And it's been a shame that I'm in my adults that I'm probably passing this on to my children's children. How amazing this game is by the time the next one comes out. But we finally got an announcement. We finally got a release date. September of 2018 is coming out.
That's not that far.
Not that far at all. Not only that, but you also get all the special editions that will come with the Kingdom Hearts fantasies. So even all those people who took so many
you
drugs
get
between
the first two games as well, right?
right. So for
That
all,
is awesome.
For all us players
whole
who
collection.
took so many drugs that we forgot what happened after 1 and 2, we have a chance to replay it again.
Yeah.
With a special edition PlayStation All In, Kingdom Hearts All In or Internal or something about like Internal Forever or something like that.
So
And
have these older games been touched up? for. I mean, obviously they're going to be converted to like.
Well, they had like
1080p or
DLC,
whatever
like different storylines on there too. They had like the 1.5, then they had the like 2.5. So there was another one as well.
What you get with the special edition, you get the Kingdom Hearts 1.5 and 2.5. So it's like they're the first game and second game plus extra content to fill in the gaps between what happened in 2, what's leading up into the third story. Because essentially, like the one protagonist got split up somewhere in the storyline, and so there's 2 versions of Sora and Roxas. They're both one and the same. They share the same heart, but they're in 2 different parallel universes.
Okay.
So eventually with the 1.5, so with the 0.5 stories, you kind of get the interlacing between story A with Roxas
your typical
and
Square
story
Enix
B.
storyline. You know?
Yeah. It sounds very confusing.
It is.
This is the type of game because it's like an RPG. I cannot do RPGs, but I know this is something that if I watched someone who knew what they was doing, I would enjoy this game.
Yeah, you can even jump on the YouTube and just watch all the cutscenes from each games. And if you have 3 hours to kill, you could knock out each game individually and kind of get the idea of the story. Because the story itself is very nice and very well written.
Yeah.
And of course, with all the cameos between Disney and Final Fantasy, it just adds to the lore of it. It's just like, oh, that's neat how they brought in Winnie the Pooh in this whole thing. So yeah, I mean, you could definitely jump on YouTube, and which I've been doing because ever since they announced like new gameplay for it 2 years ago, I was like, I forgot what the story's about. I need to catch up. And thank God for the power of YouTube to fill me in without me having to go through
all the cinematics
and grind another 70+ hours trying to play the game again just to remember the one bit.
But speaking of like Audible, that'd be the same kind of thing to come up with for video games. Just to watch somebody play through a game that you don't have time to like beat or anything. I would watch somebody play through a game like a movie.
That would be kind of cool.
That's the generation.
Like why not? I mean, like seriously, just take off all the screen stuff that's like the HUD and stuff like that, and just like play the game
cinematic style.
Speaking of Audible for a little bit, did you guys know that there God of War 1 and 2, like there's novelizations of those?
Really?
Of the game or like a whole other story?
Of
like
the game.
Oh, really?
And I was like, are you fucking kidding me? And I had to buy them on
You mash A. Now you kill the Medusa.
Slow motion, square, triangle, X.
Jimmy, I am
Tap
very
circle,
happy.
circle. You've opened the gate now. You're going through.
I'm very happy, Jimmy, that you're finally getting your climax to this entire trilogy.
The long-awaited Kingdom Hearts 3 game. So, yeah, I'm excited. The question is, like, do I want to spend all the money and get the special edition Kingdom Hearts 4 PS4?
How much is it?
Fucking, I don't know. I'm at $6.99, if not more.
There's no way it's going to be.
I don't know what Sony's pricing now for their.
It's
for
Disney
the
and it's
PlayStation
Square
Pro.
Enix, so you'll probably get something like about $100 with like a little 12-inch figure. Or something
yeah, I mean
crazy
you
like
have
that,
you have like
cool.
they have the special edition where it comes with the game, the little cover art, the art book, and you also get this little statue of Donald, Sora, and Goofy as their Toy Story version of themselves, like the little like the toy version of them.
That's
A
cool.
little statue, maybe like maybe as big.
The
as
soundtrack though for Square Enix games always comes out like for all the Final Fantasy games. I think that'd be a cool thing to put in a package too, even if it's a digital download copy.
No,
of it,
yeah, I did. That's what I did with Kingdom Hearts 2. It came with the digital album of the soundtrack, and it's still one of my favorite soundtracks I listen to every once in a while.
That's incredible, man.
Yeah, so they do special editions really good. Square Enix is very good about keeping their loyal list together. Even me again. I finally gave up on it before they finally came out and brought me right back with one fucking gameplay video. I was like, I'm hooked. I'm back. What I miss?
So if you do buy the special edition, are you going to take the time to beat 1 and 2 and then go into 3?
I wouldn't mind playing the 1.5 because, again, I played only the Kingdom Hearts 1 and the Kingdom Hearts 2 when they came out.
Yeah.
So with the 0.5, you get all this extra side stories and extra missions in here. So I wouldn't mind playing those. Will I play her off the bat? Hell no. I waited goddamn.
You're gonna be like,
I waited
babe,
goddamn 15 years to play this game.
Yeah, you're gonna play this game.
I want to play this game.
Yeah, you play the new ones first. You try playing the first ones in the past. It's just going to take you longer. Then you're going to put it off, and it's going to be.
I'm only mad
Kingdom
at
Hearts
myself.
4 is coming out by the time you play the third one.
It'll get announced, and then I'll like, okay, I have another 20 years to play the first 3 to get through it. Get ready for it.
Well, we also got Marvel's Spider-Man from Sony. This is a
Hells
PS4
yeah.
exclusive. Like, I'm bummed out about that, dude. This game looks fucking awesome. There's a 7-minute gameplay trailer, and it's coming out in September.
I think every Spider-Man game that's come out has just constantly pushed the boundaries of like the superhero game, and they've done so well. It was like Ubisoft back in the day and stuff like that. And who was the other big team that used to do the Spider-Man games? Not Never. What was it?
Not Neversoft.
You talking about the old ones, like on the Nintendo?
No, well, we're talking about like you're talking about like Shattered Dreams, right?
like even recently, like they had the one was the time. They had the three different timelines and stuff like that. Then
Yeah,
you
things
had,
like
Web of
Spider-Man.
Shadows, and after that,
they had
you
like
know.
the Shattered Dreams or Shatter something.
Oh yeah,
where,
Shattered Dimensions. That's what
where
it was.
you were playing different Spider-Mans and different Spider-Man totems.
Oh
in
my
the Spider-Man
God, I remember
universe.
that.
That game was
Yeah.
freaking awesome.
That was awesome. You had like the stealthy, Spider-Man Noir who was stealthy, had to
Yes.
hide behind shit. You had like
God,
the
that's-
cybernetic future Spider-Man who used to shoot lasers and shit.
Yeah.
And you also had a classic Spider-Man. You also had another Spider-Man, like the bum Spider-Man or whatever. It was you had a cool. That was a good game.
Man,
So I can only imagine what they're doing with this new one,
dude,
like,
this is basically a bright Batman Arkham game just with Spider-Man.
Yeah.
This thing looks so much fucking fun. I
with the
cannot
spider suit
believe-
with all the new mechanics on there too. So you like the
Dude,
spider
and
bullets and all the other crazy stuff.
This spider suit with the white accents on it
Yeah.
looks gorgeous.
Looks very
Like
clean.
this is the type of suit that should probably be in a movie.
And this is a perfect gameplay trailer movie that you could think of because you see Spider-Man trying to go into this prison and you fight like little goons, so you get an
Yeah.
idea how the gameplay mechanic works out, and then you move on to Electro, who's just in there fucking shit up.
Yeah.
and you think,
He
okay,
fights like every boss at like the beginning, right?
yeah, well, yeah. Now it's like, okay, so you're dealing with Electro. That's kind of cool. You walk through a corridor and you see the spine of Scorpion's tail like
Yeah.
right behind
Yeah.
you. You're like, holy shit, they got Scorpion
Then there's
here.
Rhino.
And then they bring in Rhino.
Then the
Yeah.
Falcon.
Then Falcon comes in
Yeah.
and fucks shit up. And then
And that's
one
just like the
after
whole
another.
beginning. Yeah, I'm just waiting for who's the big bad guy they're gonna bring in after this.
And so yeah, that brings me to the last point when they're on the rooftop. Everyone's beating up on Spider-Man. Then you have this helicopter with this guy in a metallic suit with a white suit or something. I don't know what that. Who
I don't
that
know
was.
what it was.
I know all the other villains. I just didn't see. I don't recognize him.
Yeah, he's wearing like a white suit and his skin is black, but it's like cel
like
shaded or
like
something.
Metal Mario. We know like when Mario got that metal hat on.
Yeah.
and he's all metallic. That's what it looked
I've
like.
never seen that villain before. I was like, is that
Just
supposed to be like
taller.
Mysterio or I was like,
Possibly.
no.
I'm
that's-
still waiting for a Venom or like a Carnage crossover in some of these games too. You know.
Well, you know what? If this game fucking works, I bet you the next one's gonna be like
I'm
the
sure.
big bad is gonna
Well,
be
they're already
Venom.
pushing Venom the movie too, so that's coming out as well. So I'm surprised they wouldn't be having some sort of like hint with even if it's a DLC later on, but still.
Oh, dude, that would actually be fucking dope.
Let me ask you this: like at the end of the trailer, you see Spider-Man getting like shocked to shit by Shocker, by Electro. I'm sorry.
By Lord Palpatine.
Yeah, by Lord
exactly what I
Palpatine's
saw.
thing just fucking shocked the shit out of him. And at the very last minute, you see him look at somebody and call somebody out, like someone rose up from above or some light a beacon. Who do you think that might be?
Iron Man.
Okay.
Or another Spider-Man from another Spider-Verse. You know.
Ooh, I didn't even think of that. That's cool.
Outside the box, outside the Crash
Gwen,
Bandicoot
some
box.
Spider-Gwen coming out there out of nowhere. You know?
Oh shit! Yeah, because like he said something, but I couldn't catch it. I watched this thing like 2-3 more times. I couldn't catch what he said at the end.
I want to say it was something like, "Oh, it's you." Like I got the impression that he
Oh,
knew
yeah.
who this person
It
was.
was kind of like that. Yeah.
Yeah, something like, "Hey,
But are
it's you."
you thinking bad guy or are you thinking good guy?
I think a good guy.
It has to be a good guy.
because he could have just been like, "Oh shit, more."
Yeah,
people."
right.
Yeah, it could have been this Doc Ock's like tentacle just looking at him.
Oh
with
yeah,
his, like,
there were some villains. Yeah. What is it? The Shocker. He was missing too, right?
oh,
Oh no, Shocker was the.
well, Electro.
That's Electro. Shocker's the one with the gauntlets,
Yeah,
right?
the one with the gauntlets is
Okay.
Shocker, but he wasn't on there.
He wasn't
you had-
there.
you
We
Yeah,
didn't
had
have
Doc
Electro.
Ock isn't on there. The freaking not
Mysterio.
the Gremlin, freaking
The Lizard Man. wasn't
Hobgoblin.
there.
Goblin and Hobgoblin.
Oh, that's right. The Hobgoblin.
Yeah, the
wasn't
Green
there.
Goblin and
Mysterio,
Hobgoblin.
yeah,
Yeah,
Green
we
Goblin.
have no Mysterio on there. We had Rhino.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then we have
Outside of like Venom and Carnage, I really don't know. And the few villains that we just mentioned that weren't in this gameplay, I can't think of any other villains that would be there.
if the villains that you saw in the trailer was that all the villains that you had in this game, that still was enough to buy it. Because like I'm a big fan of Scorpion. I love Doc Ock as a villain, so they had to throw in Doc Ock and have you fight those fucking 4 arms. Just
What if this is the beginning of a shared superhero video game universe? Because you could make an Iron Man game just like this.
Well, they didn't
And
do with
because-
the Marvel Ultimate Alliance. Remember, that was a big thing. They even brought back to the new consoles too. They did HD remakes. They have the Marvel Ultimate Alliance 1 and 2.
Yeah.
So I mean, you're like you could be right. You'd be right on top of that. They could literally be doing a crossover film for all these Marvel characters. Plus, you have Capcom on top of that. That's always trying to do crossovers as well. I mean, that's
Yeah.
even a bigger one. You can. Get
What if there's
into.
like a hint, like when you're investigating something, that you come across a news article about a man murdering gangsters with guns, and he's known as the Punisher?
Oh,
And there could be like a DLC thing of like you have to take down the Punisher, but like, you can't kill him, obviously.
yeah.
And then,
a
like-
side mission, or
And
a
then
side
like
story.
in the future, we can get a Punisher game that's like Batman, but you go around murdering people.
Game developers.
It's like the dark side of the Marvel universe, and it's just fucking shared like an Iron Man game, like Batman.
Yeah, and that's what I'm at. Like
now, the two successful games I think in superhero, has been Spider-Man and Batman. I mean, you kind of hit those on the head.
This is going to be
Superman
a success.
games have failed.
Yeah,
I mean, you look at in the past, what other games kind of made it big and didn't really take off?
Not really. I mean, like you mentioned, the Spider-Man games and the Batman games were really good because it wasn't a movie
But that
game.
WB engine have for Batman's actually pretty awesome. The same one that they used was at Rocksteady.
It was Rocksteady.
Yeah, but they also did Mad Max.
Yeah,
so I mean, I could totally picture that kind of gritty, especially for like Punisher, like you're talking about, or even what was it? Daredevil? That whole kind of.
Oh man, a Daredevil game, bro,
dude. Think about it.
Like Marvel needs to get,
and it's all in
this.
first person, so you get to see Daredevil's vision or point of view.
I would imagine that there would be certain missions.
I keep losing. What the hell? What the hell's going on?
Let's move on to Death Stranding. Now this game had a trailer. I believe it was a year ago at E3, and
longer than that.
We had no idea what was going on, and then we got a full it's a longer trailer that we had.
You're talking about Death Stranding, right?
Yeah, Death Stranding.
Hideo Kojima from Kojima Studios.
The same people of the Splinter Cell, not Splinter
Oh my God, Metal Gear Solid. Seriously?
Yeah.
Did we just go Splinter Cell?
I'll see myself out. But
was this the game that rose from the ashes of Silent Hills?
I mean, I guess he was working together with Guillermo del Toro. Yeah. They were trying to do that Silent Hill. And I don't know if you played that PT, the demo.
I did. I loved it.
Now, to me, that went nowhere, because I guess it fell through because he was dealing with all the stuff with Konami. But look at, you have the same people that was it Resident Evil 7. That game kind of took off and has the same kind of feel, that weird, creepy house. But Kojima is just so out there that, I mean, even just looking at the trailer that we watched from Death Stranding and stuff like that, I don't know what to expect. I don't know if Konami was holding him back.
We have no answers on
or
this.
if he was actually really more creative or more crazy than we thought. So, I mean, looking at this game, I don't know what to expect. After playing all the Metal Gears and all the crazy shit that happened, and I don't know if you played those games at all.
My friend Emar was playing the Metal Gear, the Part 5, whatever, the Phantom.
Of the Phantom Pain.
There you go, Phantom Pain. Man, that game's weird.
Did you see in the beginning when it starts off and all the crazy?
It's like in the insane asylum, and there's like a dude made of fire chasing you on a horse at the very end. I was like, Emar, what the hell is this game? I thought this was like a military sneaking around type of thing.
His games have always been weird and out there, even pushing the boundaries of gameplay. So even on the original Metal Gear Solid on the PlayStation, the first one, at one part of the game, to beat a boss, you literally had to unplug your controller and plug it into the other.
That's right. I remember hearing.
Holy shit! I remember
so
that.
The whole thing is he's trying to press the boundaries of what the gameplay is. It's not just a console you pushing buttons. Like he wants you to think about what's going on. Because remember, in the second gameplay, it was all a game. That was the whole point. Is it was in VR and you were actually training missions for Raiden.
Yeah.
And they had a vampire in there. They had the chick that basically couldn't get hit by bullets because of the magnetism and stuff like that. It was these weird sci-fi out there thoughts. And so with Death Stranding, I don't know what to expect after seeing it. I like the whole horror sci-fi feel of it.
Yeah.
I like that Guillermo del Toro's at least got a part in it. And also, was it Michael Madsen, or what is it, a crossover from Europe?
Michael Madsen was in Kill Bill.
Madsen, there you go. Michael Madsen, yeah.
But yeah, I mean,
no, not Michael Madsen. It's like Michael Madison or whatever. You'd know him if you saw him. He was in Doctor Strange. He played the bad guy in Doctor Strange.
Oh, that guy. Yeah. Okay.
Yes. I don't know if I want to call this a trailer, more so just another teaser, a very long extended teaser.
Well, it had gameplay on that one.
It had gameplay on there, but we still didn't know what was going on, or we didn't see too much interaction as far as what was he aiming for or what.
I don't know what to do with the
rummaging
baby.
around in this
It's something
world.
to do with death and I guess the two sides of what they see, and something to do with of course he's got a parallel with the men holding babies instead of the women, and how they have to they keep it as part of life. It's some weird poetic thing. Kojima's just he's always about that trying to expect something from the game is going to just drive you crazy.
So maybe sometime next year we'll get more answers and we'll revisit the same topic.
Oh my God! Well, we got The Last of Us Part 2. There was a 12-minute game clip of this. Now this was her name Ellie, or it's Ellie? Right?
Yeah.
Ellie. Okay, so she's much older. I think she's still voiced by Ellen Page. Yeah, and so she's at this party, this dance of some sort, and she goes out there onto the dance floor and dances with this girl. And the camera goes behind her because I think she's telling or remembering her story of how she got to the party. Because she said at the beginning, she says, "Sorry that I'm late, but at least I'm here."
Yeah.
And so when it flashed back and you actually see gameplay footage of her wreck and shop on these dudes, I bet you she was going to the party and this is what she had to go through.
She just likes taking shortcuts through neighborhoods. So instead of going to like the normal path where it's all lighted, she has to go to the back alleys, through the forest, over that weird area that his dad keeps telling her not to go.
Yeah.
Well, she's showing that parallel. If you played the first one, I mean, think about it. You're living at this post-apocalyptic, ending.
Yeah.
You have to deal with all that. I mean, seriously, like, yeah, they're having a party, they're celebrating, but yeah, 10 minutes ago, she was over there slaughtering somebody and watching somebody being killed. I mean, is that going to be the future when the government goes down and there's some disease or zombies come out? I mean,
I don't
like,
know.
That is
man.
the theme out of this
You know.
E3s. Like every game is preparing you for the inevitable.
yeah.
This is another game that is on the PlayStation that I did not play, but I did go and watch someone play it.
So I think we just need to be the pack here. Like all three of us should just pitch in and buy a PS4.
and just buy a
Have that
central
one. What are you
PS4.
talking about? I got like a bunch of games
Then
on
let's
there.
borrow it.
Hey, come on by, man. Got my 70-inch 4K
I'll borrow
television.
it
We
Mondays
got
and
some surround
Tuesdays. You
sound.
get it Wednesdays through
We're
Thursdays.
just playing it around,
Chops
pass it
owns
around.
it, so he gets to keep it for the week.
I'm gonna do like Redbox. We'll do like Chops Box,
Well, I would.
Why are you
love-
charging me $20 for one game rental? I only have 2 days to
That's
play
per
it.
night.
I feel like I did play The Last of Us, even though I didn't. I went on YouTube and I found some streamer who it was his first time playing it. And so as he was playing it, I was like, I bet you have to do this. No, go do this. I think this is how you solve the puzzle. I played Resident Evil. I think I know what I'm talking about. Look at that. I was right. And then I was like, oh, yeah, you had to move this thing to get to that, to get out that window or whatever. And so,
5 angry emails later, he's blocked.
and like 20 videos later, I felt like he and I had this connection. We beat this game together.
And the one thing he won't do is subscribe.
Yeah.
We want to do it.
Exactly.
Not a thumbs up, nothing. We
I-
went through shit. I and I should subscribe.
No, I didn't subscribe. I just watched his shit. He still got the views. Screw that guy. Whoever he was. But the opening...
He was one away from 100,000, dude. He was one away.
It could have been his.
God.
He got that zero play button because of you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh
Didn't
my
wanna
God.
subscribe.
Nah, fuck that guy. Dude, I gotta say the opening cutscene of part 1. What is the old man's name from the first movie? Or for the first game?
I can't remember.
Anyway, when his little girl gets shot and she dies in his arms, I was like, what am I getting myself into? And then the game just went on and I said, man,
Tissue box, man.
tissue
That's
box.
It's that same engine, like you're talking about, like the Tomb Raider and like the
Yeah.
Uncharted games. That's a pretty cool mechanic they've got with that.
And dude, the level of animation that we are now, I mean, obviously it's a video game, but like you could see even the slightest twitches in these characters' eyeballs.
It's all because of that transition from gameplay to cutscene to gameplay again. Like there's-
Even now,
there's
I don't even
seamless.
remember what half the games are switching over nowadays.
Yeah.
Remember the load. Remember
It's
the
like
load
press
screen?
A, press A. Oh shit, we switched over.
Yeah, because like when we go back to the Shadow of Tsushima, I don't think any of that went into those quote high res cutscenes, did they?
No, it just went
In the
straight
beginning.
From
In the very beginning?
Yeah, remember it went from him with the horse walking up, and then once it goes to the path and said, whatever path. That's when
Yeah.
he went to the
That's when
gameplay
so it was
mode,
like a
yeah.
seamless transition.
And then
into,
it cut to that one scene where it split off between right before the duel. You
Yeah.
had that whole like side by side shot, and then it went into gameplay.
yeah, and
It was seamless.
The Last of Us seems to have very few of those high resolution cutscenes, and then when you goes into gameplay, you know that this is time to play a video game. There's a visible difference.
Yeah,
Like-
at least give me the letterboxes, so I at least have a visual aesthetic. No,
Just a little bit of a-
Let's give me letterboxes.
a signal
that's all.
here.
Yeah,
Yeah,
give me the
no
little
joke.
bars from the bottom and bottom.
Control, the studio behind Quantum Break, brings us this new time shifting action game called Control.
That was the one you were talking about.
I believe this is the
Yeah.
one where the
This
lady
is the-
has.
This
Yeah,
is the
psychic
lady,
powers.
the shot, and it has the force powers.
Yeah, there you go. That's what it is. Don't know anything about what's going on.
it looks cool.
It looks like I was getting a whole The Force Unleashed type of vibe.
Yeah, so but I have to connect.
See, I'm waiting
and
for
physically
games like
move
that
them.
to be on the VR. You can swipe your hand and move something halfway
shit,
across.
that
the
would
room.
be- that would be
that
something.
would be a new engine right there.
Just flailing your arms around in the living room, knocking out everything in
Yeah.
sight. Just
It's so realistic. I swear I hear crashing.
you have to punch.
And you're actually knocking shit over. This
Yeah.
game is amazing.
You punch a hole through the walls. Like it feels so good. I got feedback in this game.
Yeah.
One of the last note that I have here from Sony is the big one for me. You had your Kingdom Hearts. I got my Resident Evil 2 remake. Finally, we got stuff for this thing, dude. This game is going
Sucker
to
for the
come out.
reboots.
It's going to come out January 25th, 2019, and it took 3 years for them from the announcement to actually seeing something.
Yeah.
It's another one of those things where I can't believe it's been 3 years because I could swear it's only been a little over 1 year.
3 years. I thought that game came out like what 20 years ago.
Well, the game came out 20 years
I'm
ago.
gonna say like I was like, Resident
Hopefully,
Evil
the
2
internet receives this footage that we saw of this game and takes it well? Because I know how the internet likes to shit on everything.
Yeah,
So
I mean,
this
I didn't
is a
have a problem with
straightforward
this.
remake then.
This is a remake, top to bottom. You know, the Resident Evil,
They're
the
using
remake from
the
the
newest
GameCube.
engines basically, and just
Yeah.
putting that
The
old
trailer was
game.
really dope because at first you get perspective of some creature, that's in the middle of the room, just kind of scourging around. Then you hear ruffles, like some guy was like looking for somebody. And then he gets in a fight with some other stranger in the room, and the creature was like scourging around like a cockroach, just kind of scourging around, and ends up getting knocked over on the floor.
Yeah.
It runs away, and then the shell ends up landing on this creature. Turns out to be a mouse, and then it pans out from the mouse, and you see this guy getting like his shoulder bitten off by a zombie. Just, and then the very last scene, the scene opens up with a gunshot on the zombie, and it turns out to be Leon. The crowd erupts. I like the live. I like the live.
That is pretty
trailer
cool.
where like the zombie gets shot dead, and then it's Leon there, and everyone's like, "Oh my god, it's young Leon! He looks so cute. He's so young."
It's so much better than the what do you call it? The isometric top-down fixed views of the old Capcom. You know, I like the whole third-person perspective, that the tight shots they've had from like Resident Evil 4 that they had on
Yeah.
this. It makes it so cinematic, and then of course they give you the slow turns, and you can like, do like the 180. But to me, it's worked well, especially even with Resident Evil 7. That was an awesome game to play. So I can only imagine how this is going to look.
Yeah,
already knowing the story.
You got all your classic zombies, the ones you like bust their heads and another zombie head pops out, or you get the big what's that big brute? That big brute's
he's a tyrant. I don't know his numeric designation.
right, but he's the tyrant.
He's not the nemesis.
Right.
And
'Cause
he's not
that's
the
in 3.
He's not the traditional tyrant with the giant claw hand. This one was like he was wearing a large trench coat and he would just stomp around and try to break Leon.
Yeah, and then throughout the trailers, you had like little clips and moments of things from the original game that has been redone or remastered, and just looks more beautiful than ever. So
Yeah, and this is the crowning achievement of all of the Resident Evil classics. This is the one that the fans really like, put up on the pedestal the highest. It isn't for me. My favorite is Resident
Code
Evil
Veronica.
3. Code Veronica was pretty good, but I really loved Resident Evil 3. And if this goes over well, hopefully they will immediately move into Resident Evil 3.
Oh, they're already working on it.
Because
I'm
sure.
this is how I want
they know you're a
Evil 3
sucker
to look.
for remakes and
Dude,
reboots.
I
But
will
there's a
fucking do it.
remaster and remakes are two totally different things.
Yeah.
Like this, because they're putting in that whole new engine. It's a new game. I mean, they could have just called it Resident Evil 8 if they wanted to. You know?
Resident Evil
Yeah.
8, Back to Raccoon City. Back,
If they had
Back
done
to the Future.
if they had
Yeah.
done what they did for the Resident Evil that came out on the GameCube, just straight up remake it, have the top-down cameras and all that stuff, and just updated the controls a little bit, but rebuild the game from the ground up and just done it like that, I would have been all in for it. Because 2 and 3, they're pretty hard to look at. And when you go and you stream them off of the PlayStation Marketplace, man, they look pretty bad on HD televisions.
Yeah.
And those are games that I feel deserve to be remade. They didn't have to add in new things, just literally just remake the game and make it look good.
But now you're getting the best of both worlds.
but
You're
now we're
getting
getting-
remade,
we're
and you're
getting,
with
uh,
all the new Resident Evil angles and stylized that everyone loved in the newer versions. But
You know, as good as Resident Evil 7 was, I would much rather prefer the presentation of what 4 and 5 was. I did not like the gameplay of Part 6.
those fixed cameras
Over the
where you go
shoulder.
down
Well, 6 was more just like run and gun action. They kind of stepped away from what that whole survival horror was, the
Yeah.
investigation side of the games and stuff like that,
But having Resident Evil 2 presented like 4 and 5, I'm all in on that.
I just want to see the new way they're going to say you're dead on screen because I'm going to see it many times.
Yeah, probably. You guys want to move on to some Nintendo?
Let's do Nintendo. And we're done with Nintendo.
The big one that came out of Nintendo was Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. Now, this game is going to boast the largest roster in Smash Bros. History because every character from all previous installments are going to be fighting in this game.
Everybody is
Yeah,
here.
this includes all DLC characters such as Cloud, Ryu, and Bayonetta and Corrin. New characters have also been named to join the fight, such as Super Mario Princess, Daisy, and new Pokemon, Splatoon's Inkling, and Ridley from Metroid. Nintendo also announced that they have made a redesigned GameCube controller, which will be compatible with the game and will support
Hell
old
yeah.
GameCube controllers somehow, possibly through the use of a dongle.
The best controller still to this time, the GameCube controller.
The GameCube controller is pretty dope.
This is a pretty
People
dope
looked
controller.
down on it because it was purple and it was like for kids.
What was
but
the
it was
wireless
good.
one called?
The Wave Bird.
The Wave Bird.
Wave
Wave
Bird.
Bird.
You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
That was the first, the rest were like, 3-foot controllers? You had to be right there in front of the screen playing with it.
You know you reached a new level when you could take a shit in the restroom and still play your game.
Was that the first console that introduced wireless
Wireless of its
You put
kind,
like a
yeah.
dock thing that read. Okay, because
That was the first.
didn't you have one? I did.
Uh-huh.
I never owned one.
I had two.
Yeah. Okay. Then you might have been the. Okay. I would because David and Nolan did not have it,
Yeah.
and I don't think Manuel did either.
Yeah, I had the two, and then you had like the little dial, so you had to put it on separate channels. So like
Yeah.
my controller would be
Oh,
on
yeah,
5,
'cause it was
the other one would be
RF.
on 4. Yeah.
It was radio frequency. That's
Yeah.
right. That's before they started doing the Bluetooth controllers, and also, yeah.
And
Yeah.
I always used to do it on the opposite ends. Okay, so I get 1 or 2 channel, you get 9 or 10. That way we're not crossing over because you're on 4 and
Quit
you're
eating
on 4.
B. It's affecting my controller.
Yeah.
Switch channels.
I personally never had a problem with the GameCube cord length for the controllers because
Dude, you're in the restroom in a whole different room, and you're playing a game in your bedroom.
Well,
that fucking blew my mind.
the layout of my house compared to yours. The bathroom was never a straight shot to my TV. There was always like a
He
turn
used a
in the
lot of
hall.
mirrors.
Oh, is that how you did it? Oh, that would be amazing if you
Bouncing
almost-
mirrors off of each other.
Your
to
sister
get
goes
that.
to do laundry and she gets in the way of the mirror.
My mom would get so
Move,
mad at
move.
me. My mom would get so mad at me the way I would try to like move her like what's it called the mirrors that stuck on the cabinets.
The ones that
The
are just mounted
vanity
on top.
mirrors.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, me trying to move the vanity drawer over just to line it up just right. Mijo, stop it! You're ripping up the carpet, pendejo.
Okay, so this is the game that is the sole reason why I would buy a Nintendo Switch.
Yeah, there's a lot of things that makes me want to buy a Nintendo Switch. Not only for like the free games that are coming out, like Fortnite, like you mentioned earlier, the Fallout Shelter.
Yeah.
But yeah, Super Mario Smash Brothers Ultimate is one of the games, and another one, Super Mario Party. It looks awesome. It brought me back to the days I used to play it on 64 with my neighbors, with my other friends, or my friends at the time. Once we got done with the game, we never talked to each other.
They're trying to do the whole portable connectivity like they worked with the DS, I think, where you had the whole tap and connect people. But I saw it in a different way. They had the trailer where people were moving the screen a certain way, so that way the game board is affected. In such
Yeah, you can build the game board using multiple switches.
different
so-
angles,
Yeah, that's
freaking
pretty
awesome.
cool.
That's an awesome marketing way because hey, I got a Switch. You come want to play? No, you got to buy your own Switch because we're gonna do this big giant massive game here.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, like I said, the 64 games, the GameCube games were like really great games. They created friendships, they created rivalries, but it was all in good fun. And I'm
If you're
very
talking
excited to
Super
see this
Smash,
one.
you're talking rivalries. I don't think you created too many friendships with that game.
Yeah, with the Smash Party. Well, no, I'm talking about the Super Mario Party.
Dude, okay, so do you think the next Super Smash Brothers would be called Smash Brothers Rivals? That'd be kind of cool.
It's gonna be infinite.
Yeah, exactly.
Super Smash Brothers Infinite.
Yeah,
Dude,
because right now Xbox, PS4, they're on their infinite internal like from to
No, we
infinity
call
and
Super
beyond.
Smash Brothers Forever.
forever.
Is this going to be
bro.
their fourth game next?
They still the WWE tagline.
This one is their fourth game.
Dang it. They missed out on it. They used the title.
They just use the WWE title. Then now forever.
There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh man. Well, so what are some of your favorite characters from Smash?
Fucking Metroid Prime. Naked Samus when she was finally announced when she became a thing because she has these nice supercharged combos, and then fucking Captain Falcon. Falcon punch.
You played as Captain Falcon?
Dude, you kick ass as Captain Falcon if you know how to use him good.
I mean, you
enough.
could kick ass with Sonic if you know how to use him.
Fuck Sonic.
It's all about Kirby, man. Kirby can just absorb you, become any character.
my
you
God.
know?
Kirby
hate
was
Kirby.
Kirby was a motherfucker. If you knew someone who would use it good Kirby, you get fucked over real quick.
Link. Especially in the early games, it was the first one to have
Toon
like
Link.
the throwing because you had like the boomerang or the arrow and stuff like that.
And then they came out with Toon Link, and Toon Link has pretty good moves too with the batarang and like the little small bombs, the little small bonbons that he would just throw at you.
They have 3 links in this game. Do they really need 3?
Toon Link,
Toon Link,
Young
Young
Link,
Link, and
then regular Link.
Yeah.
Yeah, why not?
I mean, do they really need that?
Yeah, you should. If anything, they should bring back the little 4 links they had when they came out with the 3DS, the little 4 seasons
Even
game.
Ganon, they've got Ganon in there too, right?
Ganon got
Yeah.
souped up.
Yeah.
Ganon looks really good in this. And then they had like everyone has their big supers. So you have Bowser with his new super that takes up the whole fucking screen.
Oh yeah, he comes in there just wrecks everyone.
And he's fucking like Godzilla, like just one punch, poof, the rest of the screen is gone. So
Yeah.
I like how everyone's like upgrading their supers. Like it's becoming like a real legit fighting game instead of just using the same.
I'm just waiting for
color
their versions of fatalities.
That's what it is. They're supers. You
Well,
know,
exactly.
you
It's just,
except they don't die. They don't explode. You just get tossed into the background of the battle screen.
So I have 2 questions for you guys about this. When this game inevitably comes out, later this year, and it's going to be amazing, do you think they're going to have special DLC characters for this game?
Well, the way they announced the game, they're saying like they're not going to have like DLCs, but all characters are going to be able to be unlockable through.
Yeah, they already
grinding
said
and
don't
playing
expect
game.
much because they're already giving you a full roster already.
Yeah.
So they didn't say they're not having DLC, but they just basically said, hey, if we do, it's going to be kind of, like that's what they're making it seem
I don't think
like.
I don't think it's gonna be so directed as like new fighters coming into the game. I think it'll be on my aesthetic wise, new costumes or new
Loot boxes?
arenas, and maybe something like that.
Because with each character, you got to have 4 skins of different costumes for each character.
Yeah.
Each character is going to have.
But they're not like
several...
fucking Soul Calibur here with like intricate costumes. It's just different colors.
Well, yeah, a lot of them are different
You
color
never know.
schemes.
They might do stuff like that. Hey, the pink one has +2, HP or whatever. The other one has plus fire damage.
They did have that in the 3DS version of Super Smash Melee, where like you could customize and level up your individual character, and then you could customize them, add armor, add like little boost points and little super stuff like that, or change
Wouldn't put it
out
past them.
super. So yeah, it doesn't sound like a bad idea. But
Because along with each character, each one might have their own fighting level that represents them, and then each character is going to have a slew of songs from each of their franchises.
Yeah.
Like there is a lot of shit that goes into a Smash Brothers game.
And with all the members of the Mario universe, Nintendo's universe on there, they couldn't have room for just Waluigi.
Yeah.
The internet has been fucking like burning Nintendo.
Wow, I
because
didn't even think
the
of
lack
him.
of Waluigi. With the
I didn't,
tagline.
in the trailer, the character trailer, I didn't even see Wario. Did you?
Wario's on
Wario's
there.
in there.
They
Wario
mentioned
was
him,
in there?
yeah.
His big
Okay.
super was he comes in his big motorcycle.
Oh, that's right. He wasn't
and
a
fucking
stupid
just runs
motorcycle.
over everybody. Just
Okay. All right. So my second, if they did DLC later, who do you think that they would pick? Let's say they did 2 or 3 characters of DLC. Who do you think that they would pull?
Oh, shit. I mean,
Like, who's out there that's left?
I don't know. I mean, you could bring in Navi from The Legend of Zelda, fucking little fairy running around kicking people's asses.
You just-
A character that I've always wanted
This
is
is-
Banjo-Kazooie.
Banjo-Kazooie.
I mean,
if they tried, I think
that's
Nintendo?
rare.
Oh, that's rare.
That's rare. Yeah.
That's rare.
Donkey Kong is
But
is
fucking,
rare.
they got Ryu. Why can't they go get Banjo-Kazooie?
That's a good point.
They also got,
They got Capcom, yeah. Why not? Why not other? Who's that other? The other fighter from Street Fighter, Zoom Lee.
Well, they've got Mega Man on there too, and that's Capcom as well,
Yeah.
right? Yeah.
Yeah, he's
Beautiful
Capcom.
Joe. Beautiful Joe.
Oh,
Beautiful
dude.
Joe.
Beautiful Joe.
Dang.
Hell yeah.
But I don't think that was a Nintendo one. That was
It was popular on the GameCube.
yeah.
Would it be too much to ask for a Ninja Turtle? It probably would be.
Yeah, probably.
Hey, they did it to Mortal Kombat.
The Ninja Turtles went to the DC. What is it called? Their DC tournament fighter game.
Yeah, Injustice.
Injustice.
That's what it was. That's
yeah,
what it was. Not more, well, that's the same company, I think. The Mortal Kombat and Injustice.
I
Team.
think so. We could be wrong.
Same, yeah, we don't know video
Same
games.
people.
Just talk about it.
Okay, so I want a Ninja Turtle and Banjo-Kazooie. Jimmy wants Beautiful Joe. Who would you pick?
That's two good ones, strong ones right there. He's such a hard one to do.
He goes James Bond.
Yeah, exactly.
No shit.
When you got
Like
Solid
some
Snake.
random person.
The 64-bit. The golden
Just put
Eye
Hulk in there,
64-bit.
yeah.
Damn. What if they pulled Conquer? How cool would that be?
Conquer.
Another rare special.
Yeah, another rare
another
character. He's
rare
like, come
one,
on,
yeah.
dude, just play ball. Just give Nintendo the thing.
Banjo-Kazooie sound makes more sense though.
Banjo-Kazooie does make a lot of
That-
sense.
The more I hear about it, I'm like, nah,
If you could have Duck Hunt carrying around the little ducks and shit,
fucking
Banjo-Kazooie can
should
be there. Yeah.
fucking flying around.
They
the map.
they look like Nintendo characters.
should.
They do.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're excited about Smash Brothers Ultimate. You're excited about Super Mario Party.
More now than well, yeah. I mean, I'm talking about Smash Brothers, but now
We'll
more
talk
than ever with this
disappointments
fantasy.
because I'll say one thing was missing, of course.
What?
Metroid Prime 4.
Oh, from Nintendo's?
It was
They didn't-
teased last
You
year.
know, I'm tired of getting teased. Being left, without anything.
We got the Elder Scrolls. We got the Elder Scrolls squirrels treatment last year.
It's all about them squirrels, huh?
That's how I'm calling it now. Elder Scrolls. We got the treatment. Last year with Metroid Prime 4. Now here we are, 1 year later. Not even a mention
Still
on it.
waiting.
We did get that. What's that one big bird from Metroid?
Ridley or whatever.
Ridley. Yeah, he got announced for Super Smash.
Yeah, he looks pretty legit.
Yeah.
But wasn't he featured in the Wii version?
I don't know.
As like when you were going through the subspace emissary and you're just like knocking out random bad guys because it's like a bunch of levels to help you unlock the characters on the thing.
Yeah.
I could have sworn I saw Ridley like just as a background character.
This is the first time I seen him because like I played the 64 and the GameCube version, and then I fell off with the Wii, and then I didn't pick it back up until I got my 3DS.
Oh man. Oh,
So
the other
there's a
question.
gap.
The other question I had: will you be able to unlock the Master Hand
As a fighter,
as a fighter? I mean, fuck. I mean,
Everyone's
he's been
here.
there. Everyone's there.
here.
I didn't
Yeah.
see him in a trailer.
Someone from Zelda?
and there's still no answer whose
No,
glove
the
that is.
Master Hand, the final dude from the first Smash Brothers.
Oh, what is that from
all-
Zelda? Isn't that the whole the dungeon hand or
I
whatever?
don't know what he's from.
Is he?
I just
don't
figured.
know.
I just
The
figured he was
Master
Mario's
Hand.
glove.
I always thought that it was you. You know, just like
Oh,
you're.
because the only thing I associate that with the old school like Zelda game was remember the hand would come down and like pick you up and then take you to the beginning of the freaking of the dungeon.
yeah.
Wow.
I remember that. That could be.
I do not. Maybe that is where they got that from.
It sounds canon enough. We wrote it. It's done.
Let's talk a little bit.
Wikipedia. Let's look it up.
Let's talk a little bit of Fortnite. If you want to look it up, you go ahead. And we'll jump.
Okay.
Let's talk about.
I'm saying that for the audience that can't see that I'm not looking it up right now.
Let's talk about some
clicking.
Fortnite. The widely popular sandbox survival game is now on the Nintendo Switch. You can get the free title from Nintendo's eShop, cross-platform play with PC and Microsoft. Yet the game is also on Sony, but they're not playing ball. They are not playing ball.
You got a Sony PlayStation and you got a Switch because you're just stupid rich like that, but you can't play Fortnite on both consoles.
That's some bullshit.
You got to pick one or the other.
Yeah.
Sony's always been about proprietary. They're the ones pushing media half the time too.
Yeah.
I mean, think about it. That's why we have Blu-rays over HD DVDs. You know, that's why we have DVDs. And that was the whole. Sony's always been the one pushing. You know, constant
And it
media.
keeps it in the damn selves.
Yeah, that's the whole thing is they want to keep all their licensing the same way. They want to keep Nintendo, and Sony.
So with the internet being as crazy and rabid as would hate as it is, you think that Sony will just bend
Hell
and give
no.
them what they want?
I mean, but like the game
Why?
is free, right? Across everybody. And
Yeah.
they only make money because you have in-game purchases, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so
Well, the whole game was supposed to be free anyways.
Yeah.
Not just the battle royale.
yeah.
Like remember that when they first released it was supposed to be that whole like zombie, defense, what do you call it, like fort defense kind of game.
Yeah.
And then they released the battle royale free to kind of push it, so it would sell before PUBG came out.
Yeah.
That's
And
why
now-
Nintendo's doing Fortnite because they can't run PUBG on their freaking on their
Nintendo
console.
Switch is really small.
Yeah.
But I mean, does Sony come off as like the bad guys? I mean, if this was the only game on their console that was cross-platform play with everybody, would they really suffer a big loss? I mean, just because this game is the most popular game going right now,
People are playing Sony for other reasons, Same thing for Nintendo. I don't think it's such a matter that I think people are just people make it blow up things that are small. So
yeah.
People get gypped out when they don't get cheese on their cheeseburger when they ask for cheeseburger.
I can't level up on this one too.
Yeah.
What did you do if you had a PC game in the past too? I mean, it was totally separate. Now you've got like crossplay kind of.
You could at least try to cross-play with Microsoft, but that makes sense.
It's just
because
everyone's
Microsoft is
mad
insane.
because just like we talked about earlier, everyone's got to start level 1.
Yeah. I hopefully Sony will go back on this and they'll be like, go ahead, cross-platform.
So you
Fuck it.
think they'll think to do the good thing and
even though
do
the
it
game is really big,
2
this
years
seems
from
like
now when the
in
game's obsolete?
this game, yeah, I mean,
That's
okay,
when it'll happen.
even
Yeah.
if it even if that happens, at least for a gaming generation, it finally happened. It doesn't matter because, and if it's just the one game, maybe someday another game
it'll
will
be
come.
in the history books that
And yeah,
in 2018
All
there
Sony
was
has to do-
one game.
Maybe they think they're going to lose players to Nintendo, so they're basically saying, "Hey, we're not going to allow you to crossplay. So guess what? You can just stick with the PlayStation."
He's like, or you
don't
can
even
just go-
don't even buy a Nintendo Switch.
Yeah, you don't
He's
need-
like, don't even buy this console that's over half.
You can't play
cheaper than
Last of
what
Us
we-
2 on it.
Yeah.
You can't. They start naming off all the games you can't play
That you
on
can't
there.
play.
You
But
can't
then-
play Uncharted on it.
But then
you know.
Nintendo's like, it's only $250, and
It's $299.
It was two. Okay, wow, that's still like $150.
But is your
Sure.
controller the best rated game
But
controller
still.
of all time?
No, I mean
Yeah.
The DualShock?
the things are pretty colorful. They do look. It does look like a sweet little system.
I should have
Okay.
got one a while back when I thought about it.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I should get a Switch. Everybody's like, nah, it's gonna be crap. No one's gonna like it.
dumb.
Because we got duped before with the Wii U. The Wii was okay.
The Wii was good. I liked the concept of it. I played a lot of games that were specifically made for the Wii, and there's a few that I wish I would have played. there's like the Dragon Ball. I'm not even a Dragon Ball person at all, but it was just the game mechanics of this fighting game where you actually twisted the controller to charge up your fireball, then you launched it out. Like to me, making a fighting game or something that's interactive.
The early
like,
stages.
Again, just like talking about virtual reality, it's the interactivity, it's the immersion into a game. I think that's what they're lacking. So to me, like with the Switch, they've totally got the you can shake the controller and move it around for some of these games and do stuff. I mean, same thing with like the 6-axis controller for Sony. I mean, you're getting slowly inching to this game immersion.
Yeah, so. But I mean, now with Sony, like they reached such a pinnacle with the controller. They really done little tweaks, like added that touchpad in the middle that really does nothing.
Yeah.
And
they just haven't utilized it. Like the Vita used the same kind of touch thing, even on the back of the whole thing too. Yeah. You can play games where you're doing this, and opening stuff, with the back of the controller.
Oh yeah, I guess you had that thing on there. But again with the Switch being one of those like evolutions, how it just been growing and growing. So now I think like this might be the perfect Nintendo console.
Oh, it is. It's that bridge between they've been releasing what? They've had their console and they've had their portable console. And now you don't have that. This is that. This is both now.
Yeah, this whole Nintendo Direct conference, they had no Nintendo 3DS announcement, no other thing. Everything was Switch. Even your Pocket Monsters that you used to keep on your Game Boy and Game Boy SPs are now on a Switch.
I really want to see how that's going to play out because that's the main reason I was about to get a 3DS. I've been wanting to get one for a while. It's just for Pokemon. I love the shit out of Pokemon. I played the original ones way back in the day.
Yeah.
Well, let's talk about some more Pokemon.
Let's talk about Pokemon Go.
Let's go.
Okay, so Sarah was really excited about this. I know almost nothing about Pokemon. I just know it's a big thing.
So long time ago,
there
was a scientist called Professor Oak who told you as a little
Tamagotchis ruled the land. And one day, a nice comet came and smashed that to pieces, and they put it into a digital universe called Pokemon.
I think the most notable thing about Pokemon is that they are in Super Smash Brothers.
Yeah.
And South Park calls them Chimpokemons.
Chimpokemon. Which Chimpokemons was the mission? To collect all the Chimpokemons to be my Super Station.
Okay, so we're watching this trailer for... Is it Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu?
It's Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu and Pokemon Let's Go Eevee because all things Pokemon come out in pairs.
Yeah, and that's what got Sarah going is because Eevee is her Pokemon of choice.
I feel that's what it is. You've got like the male game and you've got like the female game. I like the Pikachu's like the male version. Not to say that that's how it always picks. Just somehow that's how I feel it is.
Well, I mean, for the politically correct, there is a female version of a Pikachu that you could have alongside with you. But like you mentioned, there is like it's the fandom of it. So if you have a little sweetheart who's a big Pokemon fan, anything Eevee or any of its 9 evolutionaries of Eevee.
I was going to say because you can do so many different things with the Eevee.
Yeah, we could do so many things with the Eevee. Just throw a rock at it and it'll turn into something else.
Oh my god, I did not know that.
Yeah, so there's all these stones that you could collect throughout the games, and the Eevee is adapted to all these stones. So you can have a lightning Eevee, you can have a fucking.
It's just a good base character to start with. You add your own, moves to it and stuff like that. But I like how they're incorporating the Go. The Pokemon Go into it. So you can actually catch Pokemon with Pokemon Go and then transfer them into your, Go Eevee, Go Pikachu game. And
straight into the Nintendo Switch via Wi-Fi.
Yeah, so
or whatever.
So one of the big things coming out of this Pokemon Let's Go is that for the first time it's 2-on-1. So you and a buddy using each using a Joy-Con can
that's true. Yeah.
play Pokemon Go together in your living room or on your Nintendo Switch, and so you could go through.
It's like a perfect college game now. You
could totally have a 3-way. You could totally have a 3-way.
Are you the cool roommate that has the Switch, or are you the other roommate that plays the Switch?
And then, like Charles mentioned earlier, if you're still killing your phone's battery playing Pokemon Go outside in the streets, now you could bring all 20 of your Zubats and Caterpies into the game and play on your Nintendo Switch, and by importing those Pokemons and helping level those up. But essentially, this game is a departure from the portable versions of that's been popular on the 3DSs and the Game Boys that I used to play. But this is still not a new entry into the series or to the canon storyline of Pokemon.
Yeah,
this is more like it falls under the other categories like Pokemon Snap, Pokemon Detective, Pokemon This. It's just an extension of the Pokemon Go app on your phone, but now as a video game platform. So there's no intricate battle scenes, or basically you don't get.
So this isn't a story.
Mm-mm.
I thought they were remaking
I have no idea what this one
Pokemon
is.
Yellow or something like that into.
They're bringing the music into it, and they're bringing that nostalgia back into it for the
Oh,
bring
see,
back all
I thought
those fans,
they
but
remade that whole game and just incorporated the Go.
I thought
thing
so
into
too. I
it.
thought this was gonna be like a whole new region or a whole new world. But
I'm
this
waiting
is,
for like a full
He's
like Pokemon game.
He goes fuck, and he
Yeah.
just flips the table out of anger.
I was kind of stoked up because like, okay, cool, Pokemon, let's go, let's do it. I'm ready. But
You were
then,
ready for Pokemon. Let's go.
Yeah, I was like,
But I
let's
feel
go.
like Pokemon Go, the one thing it's missing is the Pokemon battles.
And that
If I could walk around and like play Pokemon battle and then catch it, it's not just about catching and collecting.
Yeah, so I was so excited. I was like, well, let me catch the little Nintendo press conference or the Treehouse where they show gameplay and they talk more in details of the game, or at least they have a translator talk about more details about the game.
Nintendo directed you the other way.
Yeah, well, they kind of let more details into it for how the battle will work out, and basically just like on Pokemon Go, where you come across a Pokemon and you throw Pokeballs out to try to catch it, or you feed them berries to try to tease it and lure him into your Pokeball. They even released the Pokeball Plus controller.
I was just about to say Nintendo with the peripherals. Here we go.
There we go. So this is a Pokeball that you can use to catch Pokemon. It's a secondary controller that you can use to throw and or toss to try to catch Pokemons. And you can actually keep a Pokemon, whoever you catch, into your ball. And so if you get a good shake, it makes a little noise. So it's your new key finder whenever you lose your keys.
It's like the old 80s like 8-bit sound too. So it's like that's all it is. Oh, that's a Pikachu. How do you know? Because it beat 3 times instead of 4.
And so yeah, this is like one of the big show stealers here. And then we found out the price of it was like $50 for the controller itself, for all the lights and little noises.
It was the same thing
mix.
with like the Labo stuff, the cardboard peripherals that you have to build that half the people are breaking before they get to use them, Even then they charge you like $80 for a cardboard,
Yeah, only Nintendo will get away with that.
Yeah. Have fun.
I had a feeling that was, but $50 for a gimmick controller. I mean, the standard controller is about like $60 anyway.
Yeah,
it's about the size. It's about the price of a standard video game.
Put some more buttons on it and make it useful as a regular controller too.
I mean, you can pair it up to your
Pokeball.
phone, and just like the little Pokemon finder that you had back when the mobile game came out, you could attach it to your phone, and it'll let you know it could be used for tracking Pokemon and find Pokemon without killing your phone.
So then you
battery.
got another thing beeping in your pocket aside from your phone.
Yeah. Sarah was super excited. She was like, "I could throw a Pokemon," and I was like, "Apparently you can now." Doing the motion of
just catching Pokemon,
catching
and
a
yeah,
Pokemon.
I mean that's like the whole
True
nostalgic
red.
of it. But
It's a $50 fidget spinner.
but the one thing.
only Nintendo can get away with fidget
It clicks. It has clickable buttons and it makes noises.
Yeah?
It's that's what it is. It's it's a fidget.
I got it, guys.
It's a fidget box.
Oh my goodness!
But yeah, I mean, one thing I want to see is like if this does end up being a success. I don't think it's gonna be the great groundbreaking thing it's gonna be once people realize that it's just a Pokemon Go expansion. But I think
For
it
50
might
bucks, or how much is that game going to be? 60?
probably.
Probably.
One thing they are pushing, if you do pre-order and get the Pokeball Plus controller on day one, you get a Mew.
Nope.
You get a little Mew Pokemon, which is like one of the rare Pokemons of part of the original 151.
So they're basically inciting the pay to win on Nintendo now.
Exactly.
Nintendo gonna do
Oh,
again,
we got
cool.
loot Pokeballs. Totally
Now-
different. Not loot box. It's a loot ball.
Now they do have
It's in ball form.
no bad connotations. This is
no
all good.
boxes.
No
I swear.
boxes.
No boxes.
I like his accent. Oh no, it's no loot box.
Loot ball.
Do you guys want to
totally fixed game for you.
Do you guys want to talk some EA?
Do we have to?
These
Yeah.
douche canoes.
Exactly.
Okay, so it has
Sports
to,
game. Let's just talk about
lot
the
of those
sports
were-
games.
well, they didn't
You
start
can
off
play
with
football
sports games.
outside, or you can play it on a big screen in front of you.
yeah, you could look physical or be
Yeah.
physical. It's up to you.
Well, Battlefield 5 is introducing the Royale mode, which is basically Battle
Wasn't their
Royale.
last game
So
Battlefield
everything's
1?
battle royale. Everything's now just becomes a big fuck fest. Just shoot every man for himself.
Yeah.
It's called trending. This is magical thing that kind of goes around,
You throw a hashtag at the beginning or at the end of it.
There are some people losing their shit about this trailer to Battlefield 5 about the woman that's in the trailer. Just because it's a woman they're losing their mind.
Because she's not a nurse in World War II or something? Or
yes, I mean, there were women that were fighting in the war.
I'll be a medical. I'll just go patch it up. It's okay.
You know, but they weren't fighting on our side, but there were women fighting in the war. It's like someone in there has like a samurai sword and the woman has a mechanical arm of some kind. They're not complaining about that because I was like, does she really have a... It happened so quickly, I thought, did she have a robot arm? What the fuck was that? Never crossed my mind that because it's a woman that she is, quote, out of place.
So now we're going steampunk with the whole World War II thing, or what?
A thing that I saw, that I thought I saw in that trailer was when somebody got killed, it looked like the pants that they were wearing were like colonial garb that they would have worn like in the Civil War. But they were wearing like the upper part they would wear in like a warfare from like World War II. And I was like, did I just see what I thought I saw?
I don't get how they keep on skipping back and forth. You know, they had Battlefield 4, then they did Battlefield 1, which was World War 1.
Yeah.
Now we're going Battlefield 5, which I don't know what the timeline is on that.
I don't
it's
know.
World War 2, well, should it be like Battlefield 2?
Why can't they just call it Battlefield WW2? Is it because that Call of Duty game is WW2?
Maybe.
That could be it. Confusion stuff. I just think that just have like the little 3-year-old, like the kid of one of the directors.
Or with the
just making
first ones they used to do,
numbers.
they put the years like Battlefield 1942.
Yeah, they could have just done that.
Yeah.
Instead, they're confusing the audience, or at least I'm confused.
Of course, it'd be like
I
the second
didn't know.
time they do that. So like Battlefield 1942, 2.
And now,
Yeah, they were really confused.
They didn't even wanna
What is
bother-
going on here? It's the future.
I thought it
okay?
was confusing when it was like Final Fantasy X and then
Yeah.
Final Fantasy X 2. I was like, so it's part 11?
It's a
like,
different
no,
universe.
it's a sequel to Final
So
Fantasy
wait,
X.
is it 10 minus 2? So it's actually 8?
Well, okay, so
Maybe it's like the Final Fantasy games. Like they don't ever like coincide. Each one is a different storyline. Maybe that's what they're doing with Battlefield. you know?
Right. Everyone
It's
is
a
on its
different
own.
world.
yeah, it's going into this segment of the show. Jimmy, you had said something about sports. Well, there was FIFA 2019.
Hell yeah.
They're introducing the UEFA League. Now, as someone who doesn't watch, I mean, I will watch soccer. I don't
UFA?
watch it religiously.
Well, you got to watch it because coming up is the World
It's
Cup.
the World Cup.
It's
I'm
the
down to
one
watch that.
time every 4 years that we actually give a shit about soccer.
I mean, I'm down to watch it. It's sports. I never catch it.
You still care about it?
Yeah.
Last year's was pretty dope when I was watching it with Manuel at his place. I was like, dude, this is pretty cool.
Yeah, it
It's kind
helps.
of like when the Astros, made it to the championship. You
Yeah,
know, of
and,
course, I'm watching the last 4 games.
It helps if you watch soccer with a bunch of Hispanics because
You know,
they get really into it and they're really proud about their teams.
You know, as
They
much
place,
as I like,
they place a lot of bets on Mexico, even though Mexico loses all the time. So it's the best way to make money.
It's the best.
when it comes to baseball,
But Ecuador sucks. They had to lose.
when it comes to baseball, they play over like 120 something games. It's ridiculous. I don't care about the first 60 or 70. After that, like the last 30 games of the regular season going into the playoffs, it's like, okay, cool. This is a baseball season I can get behind because 100 and something games is a little bit much.
How many games do they play in the World Series?
In the World Series,
Yeah.
like in each round,
Yeah.
7. Or
So
bet-
I'm
it's a
into
best
the
of
last
7.
Like
games
every
of the
championship game,
baseball.
it's like 7 games.
Yeah.
Unless it's the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
You have to be undefeated if you want to go through that tournament.
Yeah.
Which, I think basketball and baseball should go best 2 out of 3. And then like in the conference championship and the big one, those should be
They
best
don't
of
make
sevens.
as much money unless
That's
they.
it. Ad revenue,
Yeah.
television rights.
That's
and
why
all this.
every championship game now goes to Game 7. You will never. I'm serious. You will never see a game end on Game 4 or 5 or 6 anymore. Every game in the past
I feel like
5
they-
years maybe has
I
gone
feel
to
like
Game
they
7.
fucked up and missed a killing on the ratings if they put the Rockets against the Heat or whoever the Miami Dolphins, whoever that team was.
Wasn't it the Golden State Warriors we were playing?
Yeah, we were playing the Golden
them.
State
we lost
Warriors.
to them, but if we beat the Golden State and went on to face the
Boston Celtics or Cleveland Cavaliers.
or whoever.
That's who was on the other side.
I'm just coming up with like random names here. I was gonna call like
You said the Miami Dolphins is like
He's just
okay.
naming cities,
yeah,
the Sacramento,
Sacramento
Knights.
like
What?
cum dumpsters. I don't know. Yeah,
the New
Okay.
Jersey.
the Jersey Jerkers.
Okay, so let's go into
The
a
New Jersey
galaxy
Mikes.
far, far away. Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order was announced,
And that's it.
and it'll
that's
be
as far as you
available
can go in the
fall of
galaxy.
2019. Yeah.
That's it. That's
Let's go to a galaxy far, far away. Okay, guys, here's a hint at our movie.
So
That's
the flat
it.
Earth
Your
was
game.
real, but it was just
Yeah.
on a larger scale.
Yeah, that's what it is.
So we've got this game, guys. We're going to call it Jedi: The Fallen Order, and that's all I can say. And that's all I can say, guys. And that's
Hey,
all I can
here's
say.
the typography coming soon.
This, I believe this
We
game.
didn't even get typography. What are you talking about?
I believe this game is going to take place a little bit after the Clone Wars, and it'll show, I guess, the after effect of execution
falling of the Jedi
Order
Temple.
66.
Dark times. It's gonna be dark. It's what dark.
So,
Dark
like-
times these is.
If this is canon, like obviously you're going to play as like I guess a Jedi, and you probably have to survive. I don't know if they'll kill you at the very end.
From
'cause then
what
it's
from
like,
what I read is that you're playing a young Jedi
Yeah.
after the fall, after the Order 66, and after Luke came in there and fucking cut off all the kids' heads off.
I'd say
Luke
fuck
did
all
not
that.
do
You
that.
know what? Give me a dark Sith that used to go hunt down Jedi. Give me that game. Give me the opposite side that we
that
haven't
would be
had.
dope.
I want a dark side, like, not like the Force Unleashed kind of thing where no. I want a dark ass freaking game. You're gonna go in there. You're hunting down the Jedi. You're making these dark decisions, and you're showing how it reaches from the Clone War era to like the A New Hope time.
and then in the very end, you can get betrayed by the Sith because
Because
they're
you're a
bunch of
fucking
jerks.
Sith. Yeah,
They're a bunch of
exactly. Then you
jerks.
get killed.
You try,
Yeah.
you had the big boss battles, you against Darth Vader, and
Maybe
you
like
never
Obi-Wan
win.
kills you or something like that, and it leads up to like something crazy.
Of course, yeah, the good Jedi's will fucking come in.
You have there'd be a crazy game. They have the
I
final,
dive,
the
I
final
miss
boss
Windu.
battle you have that you still can't beat. You're set to lose no matter what.
Yeah. Oh man, that would be.
Wouldn't that be like that'd be
you
like
spent all your
you
time
fight this
grinding.
great fight, and at the end of it, just it's you getting killed.
in a cutscene of all things.
In a cutscene,
you
yeah.
don't have a choice. Fuck. Like you basically you just fight for.
Or
like,
people would try to play that game over and over just to beat that boss, and literally find out it's not going to happen.
You're like,
dude.
no, you're just wasting your
You
time.
spent- you
It's
spent
Obi-Wan. Do you watch the movies?
It's like, I don't understand why I can't beat Obi-Wan.
Spoiler alert,
I bought
he
the loot
lives.
boxes. I
I'm sorry.
leveled up.
That was the first movie that was made, even though it says Episode 4. Okay?
Yeah.
Spoiler alert, he lives.
And you thought by leveling up with all these loot boxes you were still going to win?
Yeah,
That's
dumbass.
not how this works. We're EA, damn it.
Hello, we're EA.
Star Wars Battlefront 2. They gave an update on that. It's going to go deep into the Clone Wars. We're going to finally get to go to Geonosis.
Hell
and
yeah.
they're going to introduce Count Dooku, General Grievous, and Obi-Wan Kenobi. Now, they did, when they went into this segment of their press conference, they did admit that they had messed up.
Oh,
Royally.
he literally put his his heart on his sleeve. He was like, "Look, sorry guys. By the way,
It wasn't my idea. It was this guy Steve. He was the intern that we promoted up from
we
California.
kind of fucked up Mass Effect,
Yeah.
and then they gave us this project, and we fucked that one up too.
And so,
But hey, we're sorry. By the way, you're not getting anything free. We're still want you to pay for the next DLC.
Yeah. A bunch of jerks.
in the meantime, here's a trailer for the NHL hockey game.
No more loot boxes, but we're investing in those loot balls they keep talking about in Nintendo. Or was that kind of like on the
That guy-
Devolver thing?
The
it's just
Devolver thing,
The
yeah.
loot coin box or whatever.
The
you
loot
know?
coin box.
The loot coin
no,
box.
loot box.
It has
coin.
no value whatsoever.
Did you guys ever play Battlefront, Star Wars Battlefront, or
The
Part
first
2?
one?
The very first
Either
one,
of
PS2. For the PS2
Oh
back
my
in the day.
god! Yeah,
Way
there was
back
a
in the day?
Battlefront.
Yeah,
There's a Battlefront.
back when the
that's-
Battlefront was kick ass.
It's backwards compatible on the one, baby.
What?
Yeah, you go all the way to the beginning, bro.
Level 1.
Yeah, there you go. It's a theme of this show.
Play the newest Battlefront, but not Battlefront 2.
We're all hyped up about these new games we're not looking forward to because we got to start at the beginning.
Yeah, you gotta
No
start. at the beginning.
shit.
I did play a little bit of the first Battlefront several years ago, and I gotta say, man, I was pretty disappointed with the controls. I didn't like how it felt.
It
Was
got better. Like
The
it did, like,
dogfights
'cause
were
in
hard.
the very beginning, they even adjusted a whole bunch of the gameplay on it too. Because like I've got it when it first came out, and I hated it too. Like I was like, "What? It's clunky.
Yeah.
It's not really I'm sorry, I'm not gonna having a good time playing these games." And they finally adjusted it, and like I went back and played the shit out of it. So I expected so much more from Battlefront 2, which now. That all this, like same thing. I guess Destiny was experiencing the same kind of shit. They're overselling themselves. They're trying to sell extra content instead of actually focusing on having a badass gameplay. And they had supposed to have a single player game,
Yeah.
and it ended up being just some bullshit. Because again, they started off with you were a bad guy that turns into a good guy. Why does every bad guy, video
Gotta
game,
have to turn into a good guy.
Turn it
hey,
around, just flip it.
Why can't it be a good guy that turns into a bad guy?
There you go. That's what I want.
Yeah, look at all these badass movies that have been coming out. Look at Thanos. Bad
Maybe that's
guy
what's gonna
ends
happen.
up winning the movie.
Ends up winning, dude. He
You know?
Empire Strikes Back to that thing. He won.
Yeah.
Bad guys won in that movie.
Yeah, Revenge of the Sith, Darth Vader's
Whose
still
hand
alive.
got cut off and who got frozen?
Guys,
They got turned to dust.
they showed us Unravel 2. And it
A
introduces-
friendlier co-op style.
Yeah, it introduces a 2-player co-op to help solve puzzles, or you can play single player and carry your partner on your back. And when you come to a puzzle that requires 2 characters, that character will jump off of your back, and then you could go back and forth in controlling that character.
This thing was adorable as hell.
Yeah, and this game's available right meow.
Right, meow?
Yeah, right meow.
Meow, meow.
I did not play Unravel. It was a game that I would have liked to play on the
Had you
Switch.
only had a PlayStation.
Oh, is it a tearjerker?
The end,
I mean, it's got some moments, but it's one of those cool.
the
Like,
end scene, like grandma came by and she was gonna knit a sock for a baby, a future grandson, and so he picked up the blue one, and then that's what just happens.
You know, if
you get
Sony
left behind.
if Sony had made another Sony PlayStation Smash Battle Royale, this little yarn character should have been in there.
Yeah, just throw
Along
that.
with Sackboy, you got Sackboy
Yeah.
and Yarn
Hell
Guy
yeah.
like fighting it out. You know,
What was it? Octopus Dad too? Just throw him in there.
Octodad.
Oh my God, Octodad!
Wow.
Have you ever played Octodad?
I've seen clips of it.
Dude, that game looks hilarious.
It looks fun as shit.
Oh yeah, it does.
I have it because I got it for free. I think with PlayStation. I haven't played it yet.
Yeah.
I've got like a million games I haven't even played. Same thing because it's either free downloads or just in packages.
Or it's
Yeah.
like stupid cheap on a summer sale, and you're just like,
Yeah.
what?
$2? I can't pass that up.
No,
I can't
no.
That's like reading a game. You know?
That's how I got all the DLC for Resident Evil 7 because separately they were like $15 each. I
Right.
got both of them for like $8 total, and I was like, yeah, I'll buy it.
Yeah, you got me.
Yeah, you got me.
Especially if you like some of the original game too. Like I'm not a big fan of buying DLC all the time. Like, hey, if your game sucks and you can't finish it, then why am I buying the whole game?
And see, I'm the complete opposite. I'm the one who like waits for the game of the year edition that comes with all the DLCs, all
course.
like one big giant package for $50.
But also for being notoriously cheap, that's why I wait for these
I think
sales.
I think we all raise your
I'm
hands if
also-
you're cheap.
Look. I use the word frugal.
Also, I'm
Penny
the kind of
pincher?
guy. Sarah can attest to this. I'm the kind of guy who wants my stuff now. When it comes to like my food, she goes and she'll like cook something, and now she'll be like, "Are you gonna eat something different?" I'm like, "Yeah, I'll eat hot dogs." Are you serious? And I'm like, "Yeah." Look, 1 minute later, it's mine. She goes, like, how much have you cooked? And I'm like, well, I don't really know how to cook because the stuff that I cook is nuked. 3 minutes or less, it's mine. I'm like, I have very impatient. I want it now. So I can't wait for a Game of the Year edition to come out 9 months later.
Speaking of which,
Yeah. When I had these tamales, they were hot when I brought them, guys.
Shit, I am so sorry about that.
No
product
worries.
placement.
A game that we saw a trailer to, that the presenter came out and she was so excited to present this game. She almost like couldn't get through it. She got emotional. I don't know if she was about to cry, but she was so excited to talk about Sea of Solitude.
She thought she was giving a TED talk.
Oh my God. She described it as when humans get too lonely, they turn into monsters. And this game is a very pretty cel-shaded game of adventure of a young girl who is so lonely that she literally becomes a monster. And you go into like this raft. The world looks like it's flooded from something.
Hurricane Harvey.
There
Well,
you
she
go,
was saying
Hurricane
like
Harvey.
the world changes based on like your actions and how you they reflect who you are.
Yeah.
I guess that character and so like what is she? One thing she said that was pretty funny. She goes, "Oh, it's being human and embracing certain emotions." And the feeling of being lonely.
Yeah.
So I don't know if it's something that's like a piece that was written by her, because I think she was one of the key writers as well, too. That could be one of these like short film kind of pieces that she's trying to write. Like remember like Journey was that little adventure, but it told a story and it was quick.
Yeah.
So, or if it's something that's really in depth and you have a lot of meaning. But to me, like, aside from her being like really, like the way she talked about, you could tell she was emotionally tied to this game.
Yeah.
So I really want to see how it's going to turn out.
I'm anxious to see how this game turns out. Is this game going to be on everything?
I don't believe so.
It's just an exclusive?
I think so. Or maybe it's not. It says EA.
It is EA.
So I don't know if it's going to be exclusive for a certain console or
For the one,
not.
the 1 and the 4.
Most likely.
Oh, that'd be cool. The graphics looks like the Switch could handle it.
Possibly. Well, I don't know. From what it looks like, well, I gotta take a look at it again because I get it confused. I mean, again, with all these game trailers that we caught up in like the last 4 or 5 days, it just seems like a lot of games are kind of like meshing together.
Yeah.
Unless we see Fox McCloud riding a ship, then we know that one's going for the Switch.
Man, I'm surprised we didn't get anything of Star Fox. I
Yeah.
love me some Star Fox.
Well, we did get that.
Well, we
little
did get that one.
exclusive
Yeah, that
character
was-
to the Switch version of that.
Well, they
space
talked about
game.
what was the Zero game that came out? Is that coming out or is that an older game that came out? Star Fox Zero.
Oh.
It came out.
It did come out, but I don't have a Switch.
Yeah.
Well, I don't think it was on Switch. Was it Wii U?
Oh shit! It was on the Wii U.
The last Wii.
They haven't come out
incarnation.
with the Star Fox for the Switch yet.
They're like, hey, he's gonna be in
Not
Smash
yet.
Brothers.
Wait till E3.
Like I said, I'm waiting for
20.
Metroid. I'm waiting for the of course the Star
classic,
Fox.
the classic heavy hitters.
Yeah.
Some of the heavy hitters for EA is NBA Live 19.
That ain't a heavy hitter.
It's basketball. NFL Madden
as well.
19. It's
Well, their biggest thing
football.
with the Madden was, you can finally play it on the PC now.
what?
You have not.
You
been
can
able to do
finally
that?
play football somewhere else aside from outside.
Oh wow!
Yet again.
Dude, that got me stoked out. How much was that Alienware PC of yours?
Yeah.
Oh Jesus!
God damn.
We
A
got
lot.
Anthem.
Go big or go home.
Anthem is going to come out on 2/22/19, and it is a
222. Shoe Magoo. Hut.
Yeah. I think that's of course, the same team BioWare I think was working on it as well. But hopefully we're not going to have the same thing happen that happened with Mass Effect.
Yeah.
You know, because I think they already had a few team members leave and transition into a new team. You know, this was right after EA dealt with the whole loot crate, loot boxes stuff going on with Battlefront. So
Yeah.
it could be like a Destiny knockoff.
They have a lot to make up for.
It looks
so-
awesome. The idea, the concept looks great. I love the whole interchangeable javelin suits, that you can play with that game. So you can go from being different classes essentially, but at the same time, it's Destiny. It's a rehashing of Destiny.
Yeah.
How are they going to pull it off the right way? They're going to have a good storyline and connectivity.
What's going to become of it?
Is it going to be a good single player game, or do you have to play multiplayer?
Do you guys have any notes for Ubisoft?
Other than the announcements for the Beyond Good and Evil Part 2,
Yeah.
coming out.
Skull and
You
Bones.
got Skull and Bones. You also had that cool presentations for the Trials Rising when Evil Knievel enters the theater and the motorcycle just drops right there in front of the crowd.
That was awesome.
with the motor still
Ubisoft
running.
had fun too at their yeah. It was that Swedish guy that comes into the theater, all basically on his little motorcycle.
Yeah,
And
and this just stops it right there in front of this kid.
Just
Mufflers
drops it,
just
yeah.
dropping all that carbon monoxide in the building, fucking making people all high and shit.
I don't know
It's
if you've
like,
played any Trials games, but they're freaking awesome.
No, I have not.
dude, it's great.
Physics-based game. It's a puzzle game / racing game, kind of mixed together, and it's not just about beating people. Sometimes it's about losing. It really
trick
is about
shots.
crashing. Oh yeah, I mean that's
Okay.
and so that's kind of their new concept.
Yeah, basically like you have two controls, go and stop. And then you're supposed to balance your
Well, you also
motorcycle.
you adjust where you at on the motorcycle.
Your
You lean
pitch.
forward or back, so that adjusts how you're going uphill, downhill. You're stopping on a dime.
Going on a ramp and stop because sometimes you'll have those platforms that are really short that only fits one of your tires on the bikes, so you have to stop right there and then hopefully hop off to get to the next platform.
Huh.
It's a really fun game. And then in this trailer, you see a lot of the new stuff. Because I guess it's been a while since I played Trials, since the first incarnation of it.
Well, Fusion was the last one. That was actually really awesome. That was the thing they introduced. You could play 4 people on there, and the big thing they're pushing on Rising is you have up to 8. I think 8 people.
Eight
racing
people racing around
once.
these courses. So yeah, it's like American Top Ninja, but for motorcycles in a video game.
God damn it.
And I mean, that's the easiest thing I could think of. Because you also had these moments where you do trick shots or you do trick things, and then eventually, if you don't time it right, then a ball or something will knock you off, and you'll see the ragdoll effect on your biker. Just
This is a
flying
game that
around.
is awesome to lose at over and over and over again.
Oh my God. Well, the Ubisoft CEO said that the next generation of consoles might be the last. Yves Guillemot, who co-founded Ubisoft, believes that we only have one generation left in us when it comes to actual gaming consoles. Before we all start streaming video games like we do with television, music, and movies. The prediction comes from the idea that streaming video games will gradually become more accessible to players, eschewing the need for bulky consoles that sit under your TV. With the establishment of 5G networks and new technology such as NVIDIA's GeForce now offering viable ways to stream video games via a cloud, he might actually be onto something with this because Microsoft's accessibility options increased when they introduced Play Anywhere, which is a service that allows you to play your digital Xbox One games on Windows 10 and vice versa. Now, the Nintendo Switch also allows players to play those games on the go, with Pokemon Let's Go being a game that comes to cross with your mobile. They seem to be on the streaming train as well. And mobile phones are platforms that we use every day. And he said, quote, the fact that we will be able to stream those AAA games on phones and TV screens without a console is going to change a lot of the industry.
I mean, I can see that, but I think it's the whole thing of having ownership at some point too.
Yeah.
Even if you're just downloading it and have it digital on your hard drive, and 2, connectivity. I mean, until we get to the 5G, you know, which I guess he's saying it's a generation away, but still.
Yeah.
Once we have 5G connectivity, then you have powerful cloud processing and stuff like that. You can play games without actually having them physically on a disc or program downloaded onto your, system. Then yeah, I mean, maybe that'd be a possibility.
But there's still going to be a demand for physical content, physical plug-and-play items, this like this, because not this whole Wi-Fi network is still very
well, you're also
inaccessible
getting
to some
rid of
places.
a market there, too. How many times people want to have, they have to make art for a cover. People want to have the cover. People want to have the collectible character. People want to have the poster, the coin. That's the whole thing. People are collectors.
The 12-foot vinyl pop toy.
So unless they start offering, I guess, digital collecting things, like Avatar, pictures or cover art or something like that. But even then, I think they're taking away something from their physical market. They really, by eliminating that, you're taking away jobs essentially too. I mean, you're taking away money from this market,
or you're minimizing the need for that job because, like you said, like cover book arts and physical print art. Will go all digital. So all you need now is just like a little 8x10. 140 pixels and that's it. You don't have to worry about printing it out or fit into the size or stuff.
Well, I did like what Sony did, like with PlayStation 3 back in the day. Anytime you loaded up one of the games, like you just tapped on, like you slid down on what's on your hard drive, it had like a little cover screen that was interactive that would kind of play out and with music and stuff like that. I'm surprised they didn't kind of push that with these new generations.
Or evolved it at least.
Yeah.
If the trickle down effect, to go back to your point, Chops, let's say video games go all digital. What happens to the company that they had commissioned to actually make the game cases? Like, where do they go?
What happens to all the jewel cases that?
All the jewel cases. I mean, obviously they're not going to manufacture more, but what happens to that company? Would they be able to go elsewhere and make jewel cases for music?
Other things?
But music is going to streaming
digital
as well,
too.
Digital as well.
No, music's going to vinyl now.
No,
so
we're going back to vinyl.
You might actually see the people that are producing jewel cases producing vinyl.
Big old jewel cases.
We're gonna have vinyl video games pretty soon, guys. The
return of Betamax. I'm waiting for it.
The trickle down effect could affect a lot of people, and
we're this close to the singularity, guys. Okay, when that happens, it's a whole other story. Okay,
let's move on to Microsoft press conferences.
Hold on. That's what we're talking about. Skull and Bones.
Wait, we didn't talk about Microsoft earlier.
No,
we haven't even got there yet.
Jesus,
I know.
Well, I guess the two big ones I just wanted to talk about real quick.
I got lost in this 3-hour
Assassin's Creed Odyssey.
Okay,
yet another big game in the Assassin's Creed list, and I played number 4, which was the one with Black Flag, and that's what pushed this whole notion of the pirate gaming. And, of course, rare release Sea of Thieves, which is a really awesome, cool, friendly game to play with. But Skull and Bones looks like that little darker, more strategy-based, more involvement as a pirate game. But I loved all the pirate stuff from, especially all the boating and, and like shooting cannons and boarding and stuff like that and fighting from the Black Flag game. So hopefully Skull and Bones is going to be a reminiscent gameplay of that. And then Assassin's Creed Odyssey. I mean, they already opened with a pretty strong game with Origins, back with Egypt, last or a couple of years ago, I guess.
Yeah, but this one is set in Rome, right?
Oh, it's when you're saying
Rome time?
Assassin's Creed Odyssey, I'm thinking, in space.
Yeah.
2000.
Yeah, no joke.
I was like,
that's the next Assassin's Creed. Well, they keep on talking about the future in Assassin's Creed. They never actually get to the future. It's
no, I mean,
this is
a little more developed because this is in Rome. This is Rome time. So
the engine looks a lot better. I mean,
it's
not clunky. It's not about just hiding in crowds like the first few gameplays are. I mean, this one actually shows you actually more involved fighting, leveling up your character a little more. So I want to see where they're going to go. Ancient Greece hasn't been touched in a long time, I guess, in some of these games. And it's right in the middle of Sparta versus Athens, big fight. So they're putting in the middle of a big war that we already know about, too. So who's to say? And one bad thing I want to talk about for Ubisoft, too, is that dumb piece of shit Starlink, game thing. It's a collectible thing they're trying to push. Where literally it's like a little starship you connect to your controller that you can see while you're playing. And then you buy new parts and put it back on. It's like a building thing, too. I mean, I could see how some people like that, again,
so
like collecting stuff.
Like a mini Gundam that
I don't want to have to build something. I mean, okay, if I want to do modeling on the side, I'll do modeling on the side. If I want to collect pop figures, I'll do pop figures. I don't want to have to collect pop figures to play the game or to unlock parts,
You don't want to have to buy the amiibo to scan it.
I don't want to spend $100 later on to actually play the game that I wanted to play, spending $60 originally, So.
God, these games are fucking expensive, bro.
Bro.
You remember how much, talking about expensive games, you remember how much games were when 64 came out?
Weren't they still like $60?
They were $80.
N64 games were $80?
When I bought my Nintendo 64, the first game I bought was Shadow of the Empire, which was a Star Wars game, which was awesome, by the way.
Yeah.
It was $79.99. I still had I found the cover, the picture on there.
So as our gas prices keep
Electronics
going up,
Boutique, if you remember what that was back in the
EB
day.
Games.
Yeah.
Wow.
Before GameStop came and swallowed it up.
You know, I got my first Sonic the Hedgehog game from Funko Land.
Oh,
Ooh,
man.
wow.
Hey, yeah.
Dude, I remember Funko Land.
Talk about getting hit in the member berries.
Hell yeah. I will never forget it because of that game.
That was like Blockbuster Music meets GameStop right there.
Yeah. Yeah, because like, remember how like Hollywood Video used to have that little game corner?
Yeah.
You know, thinking back, like I don't know how my dad even knew of a Funko Land. When you look at the name Funko Land, you don't think video games. Like, how do you think that that's what they're selling?
Yeah, I think like Disco
Oh,
Studio
you don't know
opened up a shop.
Funko Land? Oh, it's great. We sell our games here.
It's like,
Oh,
really?
there's lots of games.
Oh my gosh. Okay, let's talk Microsoft. They opened their show with a Halo Infinite trailer.
They opened the show to the largest crowd of all the press conferences that we've seen here.
The slowest pan and scan to a Master Chief helmet, you know.
At first, I was like,
It's like one of those Blue Jean commercials that you have no idea what's going on until the very end, and when it shows the Levi sign at the end, you know, like, really? Oh, it's Halo.
It's like, it's a guy. Yeah, I have never played a Halo game. Well, no, that's a lie. I have. I suck at them.
You don't have friends?
I did. I do have
How
friends.
can you own Xbox and never have played Halo? That was the whole reason I bought an Xbox.
We're taking the system with us tonight.
Because
you're replacing
I
it with a
suck at it.
PS4 because obviously
Oh,
you don't.
man.
You're not an Xbox.
This is how it's always gone. It has never changed. My friends are like, you need to play this. This game is great. We all get together. We go into that sandbox. I immediately die. I die and I die and I die. I never get better. It never ends.
It's because they put it on Legendary and for the first time.
I never get better because I spawn. I'm there for about 90 seconds and then I'm dead. And I'm like, great. Now I have to wait for everyone to kill themselves, and I get disinterested. And then I never get into a rhythm of learning the controls because I die so quickly.
Man,
I'm like,
but it was all about the first Halo.
and I'm like, did anyone get fucking good at this?
But see, I wouldn't
by playing a story mode.
Exactly.
Well, I've
Yes.
been told that the story mode sucks
It
because it's
does,
all about
but
multiplayer.
but you learn how to play the game and get it kind of
Wrong.
good.
Yeah.
That's what's wrong with this world now. They're all going multiplayer. Now there's
Yeah.
not even single player games anymore. Like even the new Call of Duty Black Ops 4, which I don't know why they're calling it that, since there's no storyline for the Black Ops part. It's just multiplayer.
It's just a multiplayer.
You
thing.
know.
That's sad.
That's what I expect Halo Infinite's going to be. It's just a multiplayer
It's just,
game.
it's just a bunch of maps.
You know.
We got Crackdown 3. We got a trailer featuring Terry Crews.
That's all it was. It's another teaser. It's probably not even like even the cutscene from the whatever.
Was there an
Terry Crews
announcement?
just scream over this freaking trailer for us, please.
I'm gonna blow up this shit. I'm gonna jump over this
Look,
building.
the building can
I'm gonna
blow
come
up.
on
That's
down.
all it was.
He was
Look,
just-
I can blow up the building. I'm running fast. I can glow in the dark. I'm riding in a car. That's all it was. Just mention what you see in the trailer, Terry. Go. And that's all. They had him watch it and just record him at the same time. Yeah.
They gave him like a monster
I
before.
can't believe they let me record this commercial. Oh my God, I'm going fast. Shit is blowing up. The game is coming. It's coming. I swear it's coming.
They gave him a pre-workout right before.
Oh, so he's got the pump going? He's all hyped.
You don't know it,
joke.
but he's like flexing his tits
He's
all
flexing
around.
his
That's part of
pits.
it. You can hear it if you listen really close to the trailer.
They make noise.
We got Metro Exodus. We got a trailer for that one. I don't know much about Metro. All I saw was that it looked a lot like Fallout.
It looked like a Fallout. knockoff,
It's a
or
pretty
like
cool game. Yeah, it's a faster pace, kind of like. Well, I guess Fallout's more about construction and building, and you know, living in that whole. This is
Rummaging.
more kind of like that fast horror sci-fi kind of game. You know, you're running through there, some pop scares, out of nowhere, bam, bam, bam.
Yeah.
This is the third one in their series. There we go.
Yeah.
I was like, what's that word?
I was thinking, is he going for franchise or is he going
What's
for
that word where like
series?
one thing follows the other one and it kind of builds upon like a central theme?
You talking about a shared universe there, boy? You talking about what Marvel's been doing over there? We got a Forza Horizon 4.
Oh,
Now,
looks beautiful.
I am not into driving games, but this game looks fun as fuck.
It makes me want to go out and buy like a kid's car bed.
Yeah.
Empty it out, put a car seat in there, TV and buy one of those Xbox steering wheels or like those big driving steering wheels.
I played the second one was the first one I played, and it's awesome because it's not like a serious, racing game like you'd have like you in the Forza Motorsports, which is the same engine that you make it from. This is more about the environment and driving around and getting to use those fast cars and just free roam.
Yeah, this game is going to introduce dynamic seasons that can heavily alter the game. That was actually pretty
Britain.
cool. Yeah, it's also in Britain. It takes place in the shared open world, and it is going to launch October 2nd of this year.
I think you passed up one. Important game, too. Another From Software game.
What is it?
Makers of Dark Souls and Bloodborne. They did Sekiro, Shadows Die Twice.
So that was a Japanese samurai game or a style-like game?
Correct. Another Japanese, kind of style game, but in a Japanese, more fantasy, fantastical base. I mean, think like a modern-day Onimusha. So if you're a fan of like the Capcom series Onimusha, this one totally turns from that Dark Souls art style, which is, it still has those cool-looking creatures and badass game moves and stuff like that, but more bright colors. Yeah. It's not that dark,
We got The Happy Few coming August 10th, 2018. This is a game where people wear happy masks in a world where their emotions are going to be controlled.
Oh, right. That's like
kind of scary.
Fahrenheit 451 in a game.
Is this a
developed
sequel?
No, they basically were working on it like the last time they presented it.
Yeah.
And they put it on that whole, Xbox, what is it, the preview, game thing. People could pay for it. They've kind of worked it up. Now it's about to release full game.
Oh, okay. Cyberpunk 2077.
That's a CD Projekt Red. That's going to be a badass game if and when it comes out. Too bad we don't have a date yet, but you saw where The Witcher 3 took us if you played that. But imagine an amazing, expansive world within their cyberpunk reality.
Shadow of the Tomb Raider. We got yet another trailer for that one.
Yeah.
Oh, ever since the first one came out, and then, of course, Rise of the Tomb Raider was amazing. So
I do need to play that. I got a digital download for that. Let's get it, girl.
And, of course, the new movie, I think, is based off this new series of the Tomb Raider games.
Yeah, and that movie was pretty good. That's probably one of the best video game adaptations that are out there.
Because it's the movie made after the game, not a game made for the movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The Awesome Adventures of Captain Spirit. This is set in the world of Life is Strange. The game will release digitally and completely free on a permanent basis on June 26th.
Looks like an awesome game.
Yeah.
Perfect game for being a little boy, I think,
But is it a game or what? Because basically the trailer from what it seems like a kid is making up his own adventures.
It's kind of like Telltale games where you kind of have you choose a few stuff like that and you kind of play through it, but it's kind of a story. It's a narrative-based game. This one you manipulate reality. He goes in and out of his imagination. So that's what they kept on showing. That is they show him, using superpowers in a certain thing, but then associating with a real-world event.
Yeah.
So it's that whole parallel, of the little boy's imagination dealing with, the real world life events.
Yeah.
Like his mother died is the big thing. I think they put it inside the storyline.
Oh, okay. We got Session, which is a skateboarding game, and we got little to no info on that. Many people were expecting
It's a
Skate
beautiful
4.
teaser, yeah.
Yeah.
Slow motion skating.
Devil May Cry 5. It's a game coming to Xbox One in spring of 2019.
Long time coming. A lot of people have been wanting and hammering for a new Devil May Cry, and we finally got it.
They went back to the same art style as the Devil May Cry before Devil May Cry 3.
Mm-hmm.
Because they tried relaunching the Devil May Cry series, I guess, with a younger crowd. This is kind of what they're going back to.
Cuphead, The Delicious Last Course.
Hell yeah.
This expansion is going to launch in 2019 and will feature a new character named Miss Chalice. It'll also feature new enemies, levels, and weapons. And it looks adorable as fuck.
I just got that was the acronym for DLC.
Yeah. Delicious little cup.
Delicious Last Course.
Last course, yeah.
I just got that.
I did not catch that either. Wow.
Are your minds blown, people? I thought so.
My mind's blown.
Have you played Cuphead? Because your mind will be blown trying to beat that. Believe me.
No
Dude,
shit.
This game, I have not played it. It looks so hard, but it looks so good.
It's awesome, but it's one of those things you have to memorize.
It's on that
every
Beautiful
little...
Joe difficulty.
Yeah. Was that game hard?
That's after a while, like halfway
Oh,
through.
no, Beautiful Joe is freaking awesome. This is a whole other type of hard, but yeah, I mean, same kind of thing. You have to memorize different patterns, but that's a game I wish they'd bring back. Is Beautiful Joe.
It's Beautiful Joe. Jump Force is a new game from the Bandai Namco as they combine numerous franchises like Death Note and Dragon Ball Z. The mashup is going to launch in 2019. I have no idea what's going on in this game.
Which one again?
Jump Force.
It just shows a bunch of, the Bandai Namco people just fighting each other in the streets. I don't know if it's like an open world fighting game or if it's just a straight up fighter.
It's a fucking Crunchyroll battle royale.
I was wondering, I was like, is this like
That's probably what it is.
Yeah, it's basically like all the people from Crunchyroll.
It looks like the Dragon Ball Z engine where they had like the 3-dimensional, they can fight in all this space, and you just kind of have the different powers based on whatever game,
I thought it was like something like a Street Fighter versus Capcom type of thing.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not big on the
anime,
but I think
it's 3D versus the 2D,
that'd be fucking cool.
I'm not big on the anime, but it did
Dragon Ball
feature
Z, One Piece, Naruto, and who else was the other? There's four games.
There was something from Death Note.
Death
Note
as
teaser at the end.
Because I didn't understand what was going on. I was like, oh, I recognize Dragon Ball Z. And Sarah was like, that's a Death Note character. I'm like, what the hell is happening here? We got a teaser for Battletoads. Literally,
that's all I needed.
All it was just like an image.
That's it.
Rare. That's all you need.
We've been talking about how like people have been showing off topographies, and this is the perfect example of how to get a hype because people were excited
I used to love
for this.
Battletoads and Double Dragon and the Battletoad Double Dragon crossover was the shit.
One thing I did want to point out with Battletoads, it brings it back to when I had the Super Nintendo system, and Battletoads the Battletoads game did not have a save system in there. It's like one of those games you had to play from beginning to end
because it was based off the arcade thing. It would basically want you to pump money into it and beat it. So it was just a port from arcade to system.
So remember back in the days where you would play a game and then you had to leave the system on, turn off your TV and go do something, hopes to come back and pick up right where you left off.
And hopefully the game wouldn't freeze. Get back to it finally, then you're like...
If it got too hot, depending on where it was on your shelf, it could overheat and freeze,
Or your punk-ass sister would come by and turn it off because she sees
Jimmy
it's on.
left the console on, turned it off.
Fuck you!
It's purposely, he's probably trying to save a game.
Yeah. Well, it's coming out in 2019 in 4K and Ultra HD.
Whatever that means. We don't even know
whatever
how
that
it
means.
looks.
It's probably going to be like 2.5D or something like that, where it's like the
that
the
logo
2D
looks
with the 3D kind of motion or whatever.
That logo looks pretty 4K. So high hopes.
Yeah.
High hopes for the little. Well, I mean, we did get a preview of like a rock and a little hovering bike.
Yeah.
That we get a preview of real quick.
God, that thing was the devil.
That was it. That's all we
like
got.
You saw
out
with
of
the little
it.
blinky thing that was coming next. Ooh, there's a hill you have to pass up.
Yeah.
Jump.
Oh man.
Well, we got Gears 5.
Wait. I'll say it. Gears. We got 3 Gears games they lined up for us straight away.
Oh, there's
3?
There's a third. I only caught 2.
There was Gears the Pods, the little Lego knockoff.
Oh God.
There was Gears Tactics.
Oh, okay, that was the one I
missed.
missed.
And then there was Gears 5.
And then there was Gears 5.
Dang.
The character Kate will be a new protagonist that follows the young warrior on her journey to discover why she's related to the Locust monsters, and it's coming out next year.
I kind of like the Gears Tactics games. I kind of like those tactic style RPGs.
It makes sense because it's kind of like how Halo Wars used to be when it first came out.
Now, Gears Pop, do we really need another Lego game is all I'm saying.
I'm about to say, because Gears is pretty, it's rated M.
I'm not saying it doesn't look kind of cool. I mean, I like the style of the Pop stuff, but I mean, really,
it's an adult game that's being brought down for the younger
I guess it's a way to
generation.
make you have to but I mean, still, how do you make that a family style game?
It's a cute new way to
There's
give.
no shooting involved.
It's a cute new way to give gamers a new way to experience.
And
the
everyone's
franchise.
just hacking each other with chainsaws.
That's how they do it. It's a mobile game that's going to launch.
They're
going to
have a bunch of
and iOS.
DLC. You're going to have to download a bunch of Pop figures. I'm telling you, Pop's already making money on this too. Watch, it's going to be DLC, Pop character this, Pop character that, just so you can play on your multiplayer.
You want Locust Phoenix? It's going to cost
I want raids with Pop characters.
Oh my
That's
God.
what I want.
What if Pop and Gears went the way of you know how Mario had his own cereal?
Yeah.
And it had like the little amiibo scanner for the thing. What if for this game, Gears Pop, you have to go buy pops of certain characters that will have like a little barcode that you could scan into the game?
Those son of a bitches.
They're going to fucking get you.
They'll do it after the Gears Pop game. They'll wait till they have just a Pop quintessential, universal Pop game or whatever.
Is there anything else that you guys want to talk about? Because I have come to the end of my lengthy notes.
I have to say the awesome thing was that Xbox actually picked up a bunch of indie studios. They got Undead Studios. They got Ninja Theory, I think was the big one people were talking about.
Yeah.
Playground Games, Compulsion Games, and I can't remember what the fourth one was. Or the fifth one.
I think there was 5.
That was the fourth one. There was one more, and I can't remember what it was.
And then another thing that we didn't get to talk about, Cyberpunk 2077.
We talked about it a little bit. We kind of teased at it.
We teased at it because
all it was.
Because that's all we keep on getting
tease.
is freaking teases for Cyberpunk 2077.
Now later on, as the week progresses, there was news outlets and news reporters who were actually there on the show floor that they had a behind closed doors look at the gameplay, and they mentioned how it was going to be like a first person shooter / RPG / MMO, but kinda. It still allows you to have a single player's mission. You still got to have like NPCs in there to interact with. But essentially, you'll be able to level up your skills, level up your weapons, and be able to attack and.
But also, they made it you
intrigue.
can play pretty much any way differently than anybody else.
Yeah.
You start off with different classes. You can come out with and your friend can play the same game different than you. And so I don't know if it's going to be like Fallout 76, where it's going to be small world co-op or some sort of small MMO. But.
Yeah.
After playing Witcher 3 and the world they can create, the storyline, that was a freaking amazing game. So I can only imagine.
It looked good, and I'm gonna have high hopes for it. So
It does look very pretty.
I'm looking forward to when it finally comes out on the Xbox One 2 in 2022.
Man, don't tease that, because by the time we get to Resident Evil 3
Squared?
remake,
What is it? Yeah.
The Xbox One 3.
Yeah, by the time we get to Resident Evil 3 remake and Code Veronica remake, I want it to happen on this generation.
Yeah.
I want to have this console where I have most, if not all, of the main Resident Evil
I like what
games
Nick's thinking, because
on one.
Nick doesn't want the next generation because he knows the next generation might be the end of the generation.
It might be
So
I don't want to go to digital.
He's gonna hold on to this as long as he can.
I'm still going to hold on to it until I die, probably. You thought about buying one of those SNES classic machines just to play some of those games again, too.
Well, Nintendo does have a thing coming up where they're going to do is they're going to go, and I guess you have to subscribe to it. Or maybe it comes with that $20 subscription for the whole year. But from what I understand, you're going to be able to go in, and they are going to cluster old classic NES games together, and you could buy them in bundles. So, like, if you want Mario 1, this other game, Dr. Mario, and
Did they do that
something
before?
else,
Or was it
just
called
do it.
Mario Super? What do they have the bundle that was like 1, 2, 3, and then the All Stars?
The Super Mario
Super
All-Stars.
Mario
Super Mario
All-Stars.
All-Stars.
Yeah.
Didn't they already
Yeah.
do that before?
And, I could see Nintendo doing that. And
I mean, Pokemon All Stars. They'll never do that.
Bring all your Pokemons
Now,
in.
the one thing I'm surprised didn't get any mention at all was Atari's working on a new console, and they actually got sponsored by a Kickstarter, and it blew up well over the first couple hours that they opened up. So I'm surprised they're not mentioning anything on E3 for launching, if they're just kind of waiting until they've got some sort of games and
until they got like a
some
3D
IP to
model.
do it,
Or,
I would say, would Atari have enough money to buy a spot at E3?
that get it a little bit.
Hey,
Like,
you
how
never-
weird would
yeah,
that be?
Get a corner somewhere,
How
with
weird
They'd be
would
kinda
it
like
be?
that
old school
professional-
science fair with the little poster board in the back that just says
Yeah.
Atari.
Is that gatefold? That little 3-piece? That little 3?
How many people
side?
would ask? I mean, seriously, even if you just did something like that to be funny, like you literally go set up like a fold-up table with like a trifold, like cardboard cutout, just say
Yeah.
Atari, and then have comes with retro games.
Yeah.
That's our Atari booth, guys. Literally,
God, that would be, and then they
join us on Kickstarter. They had Kickstarter, buttons or something like that. Just to
Yeah.
get people to go.
Little QR codes that have people scan.
Yeah.
They could have a little bit of interviews with just like literally a phone on a tripod, and that's how they're streaming it.
That's how they. All right, guys,
my
we gotta
gosh.
shut down the stream a little bit. We gotta charge the phone.
Yeah. They got a freaking VHS recorder, the old shoulder cams, those mountain things.
Yeah.
Well, is there anything else that you guys want to touch on?
Not so much, man. That's again. There's a lot of gaming news. There's a lot of things that we skipped out on. One thing I will tell you guys: if you guys want to check out a
PC
press
games.
conference, if you guys want to check out a conference, I highly recommend. Me and Charles will back this up. Devolver, a little indie developing company
Do
from
it.
Austin, Texas.
Devolver was so funny.
Check it out. It's 20 minutes. It's the shortest and the best of the conferences that came out of E3. And then I mean it's a great time hanging out here. It got me involved into games once again, and has me deeply
And
thinking
what's the
about
game you're
getting
thinking about getting?
Kingdom Hearts.
No, I mean from Devolver.
Oh, from Devolver. Oh, Mr. My friend Pedro.
There you go.
My
That's
friend
what my
Pedro.
friend Pedro.
My friend Pedro.
Do
So,
yourself a favor. Check out that. Just trade it for that game if you don't check out the whole conference.
It's a side-scrolling shooter coming to Nintendo Switch and PC in 2019.
That game's coming to the Switch.
It's a Switch and PC only.
Oh my god!
Yeah, I'm sure it's gonna come out to the Xbox One and the PS4 arcade
sure?
soon.
I can't believe that thing's
Well,
going
when
on the
they
Switch.
when they mentioned it, they talked about how it's gonna be on the Switch and PC. At
Yeah.
least in the
I didn't think they
trailer.
said it was not going to be on the other consoles though.
It didn't say not to, but I think this part is like they're gonna
They
push
don't,
it onto
they don't,
them.
They don't have to say that it's not going to be on there anymore. They just have to say that it has to be on the PC and Switch. That's
Right.
what they have to say nowadays. By the way, this game will be on the PC and Switch. But to me, think it's Max Payne, just bullet time, the whole game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, if that's it for this episode, this special edition of the Run-In covering E3, I want to thank Chops and Jimmy for coming out and talking video games. I have talked about video games in a long, long time, and it feels good.
It feels great. We got a lot of content out of the way. Again, you can find Chops and me on the YouTubes, Ultra Audio. We just put up a new video of our Out and About at the Houston's Great Texas Barbecue Festival.
Awesome. It was originally scheduled, I think, back in May, and then it got canceled because of weather, and then they pushed it back like I think it was a week or a month, like late May.
It got rained out.
It rained again at the end, and so we had to go see the later concerts they had at
Continental Club.
So I'm gonna try to put out a video with that later on too.
Oh, okay. Hell yeah. But yeah, Chops for the Texican Tamale King, and Jimmy Blitz, Ultra Audio, and of course ADD Wrestling each and every weekend.
Chops Texican Tamales. Find me on Facebook.
There you go. And soon on your History Channel TV, the Food Network TV.
Soon to be on Food Network. Yeah. End of July.
Oh, that is incredible.
Great food truck race.
There you go.
I got raced.
Deleted.
Well, I would love to do this again next year. Talk E3, and I would gladly, Chops, if you ever want to sit in on an episode of the Run-In.
Heck yes.
You could come in and chat about
I
movies
talk
and
movies
bullshit.
all the time. I've got a bigger collection too, by the way.
Oh my! But this is all just horror.
This bookshelf of yours?
Yeah.
His name is Jimmy Blitz. His name is Chops. My name is Nick. Goodbye, everybody. I'll see you next time.
See you on the flippity flop.
Good night.